All right, we're back. I went live at Adam Mayer this morning, guys. I woke up at 6, ready to go live at 6:30, thinking it was an 11 a.m. UK time deadline, and it was a 1:30 p.m. deadline. So I got up an hour and a half earlier than I needed to. I went to bed really late last night because I went to the Bristol City game and we lost 5-0 at home to Derby. So yeah, that's what's happened for me this morning. I hope everyone's keeping well. Let's get cracking with the stream. We need to update this news as well, don't we? We need to update this news. Thinking of doing Chow. Show you my team in a second, guys. To Chalobah. Hoping that Enzo stays quiet. Have another nap. I think I need one, mate. There we go. Okay, so here's where we're at, ladies and gents. I'll read the chat in a second. Good to see everyone in here. There we go. Put that in the middle. So this is what we're looking like at the moment. So we're in a 3-5-2. Sanchez in net. Gabriel, we're gonna do that, I think, for now. You got no sound. Should have sound. Hopefully everyone can hear. Should be sound. So we're just going to do that. So yeah, that's my team morning again. I think really the only change I need to make here is a defensive one. So I'm looking at this defense and I'm thinking it's not ideal this week. So I'm looking at bringing in Chalobah. Now, last week I brought in Njai over Enzo, which somewhat regret. But I think this week the Chelsea minutes are going to be interesting. I think Enzo plays, but I also think Palmer plays. So that means Palmer's going to be on pens. And I'd also question if Enzo will actually play like 90 minutes. Whereas Njai, yeah, I think he's all right. I'm also looking at thing is with Chalobah, right? Does he play? Probably does. He's also, even if they don't keep what's going on there? Even if they don't keep a clean sheet, he's still pretty good for defensive contributions. I mean, he's hit it in the last 4 games. So Chalobah's one move I'm looking at making, right? I think that's definitely happening. Unfortunately, because I bought Mark Gu earlier on in the season, I'm tripled up on Chelsea. So I'm in a bit of a predicament in terms of bringing Enzo in if I do Chalobah, but I think it's the right play. And then I'm looking at where else could I improve my team? And it's probably in terms of strikers, right? Like I'm pretty sure that Ekitike probably isn't the best long-term option in my team. But honestly, mate, there's just so few strikers that I really want in my team. I don't know how you guys feel, but there's just such a shortage of good strikers in the game. I'm going to go over to Solio a second. In fact, I've got something better. Rob T did a good stat. We're going to go log into my fantasy football Twitter. I've been on the Bristol City Twitter account recently because we lost 5-0 yesterday. So what I'm going to do is pull up Rob T. There we go. Because I thought this was useful. So this sets the stall out basically for rest of season projected goals and assists. And the best forward in the game outside of Haaland is Ekitike, and then it's Thiago, right? So those are the two, and Bowen, right? Those are the 3 forwards in the game long term that look to be the best options, right? Ekitike has Newcastle, Man City, Sunderland, Forest, West Ham. next 5, right? Thiago. Let's have a look at Thiago. Thiago's next 5 fixtures, not the most inspiring. Villa, Newcastle at St James's Park, Arsenal, and then from 27, they look good. But for the next 3 games, it's just not great. And then Bowen, right? So for me, those are probably the 3 best forwards, right? Bowen. The reason I don't like João Pedro is I think he's pretty much going to get a benching this week. And then you look at Bowen. Chelsea, fair enough, crap. Burnley is a good fixture, but it's only 1 week. And then it's Man United, Bournemouth, Liverpool, and it's place West Ham. Just not sure. So, for me, I want to get rid of Ekitike, but at the same time, I think he's probably going to play this week. And I don't think there are many better. So, I'm probably going to stick by him, really. I think my midfield, I can't really justify selling Saka this week because I think he plays. I do want to have Timber in my team long term, but I don't think I can justify that move this week. So that's my move, really. I think we're going to do Chow to Chalobah, and that'll be it. That'll be it. And yeah, that's it, really. That's all I want to say. Let's have a look at the chat. Ollie, you can perform well even against an average team. He did play well even with his new hair. Ekitike will get confidence up. I know he didn't play a strong team. Yeah. The most exciting move you've ever heard, mate. I think it's the right one for my team, really. I think I set my stall last week with Njai versus Enzo. You know, I've made my bed there. I don't think I can't bring in Enzo this week. I think this is not the week to bring in Enzo, in my opinion. The player to bring in this week, I think, is Mbuemo. Like, if I was to make a midfield transfer, I think it would be Saka to Mbuemo and then Chow to Timber. But I do want a bit of that Chelsea defence with the next 4 fixtures that they've got. And also, I would question, you know, Timber, outside of clean sheets, he's not really scoring that many points. Whereas Chalobah, he's hit DEFCON in the last 4 games. I guess you do have to keep Cunha, right? I mean, with Dorgu being injured as he is, you've got to think Cunha is going to play on the left, particularly with the fixtures that they've got. I think part of Carrick's thinking for playing Dorgu against Man City and Arsenal, I think, is the extra defensive solidity he gives you, right? But he doesn't need that in the coming games. The only thing I would say about Man United is it's how they treat the Fulham game. Obviously, they've had 2 really good victories against Man City and Arsenal, and I think with like the high that they're on at the moment, they could underestimate Fulham. I think that could be their undoing this week, but we'll see. So you've got some teams in the Discord by the looks of it, so I'm going to have a quick look at that. Sorry, that's Ben's. Ben's bets. Right. If you want a team review, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, the way you do that now is by taking advantage or taking advantage of the free trial or joining the FPL Cartel. And the way you do that is by doing so using the link in the description below. And I'm going to pin the message in the chat. Pin message. There we go. And if you go into the Discord, once you're in, there's a GGFF stream deadline chat. Put your team in there, and I'll have a look at it. So we've got Rahul's team first, which is a really good team, and I wouldn't do anything. Ben's team did Thiago to Krupi and then Gordon to Bruno. Yeah, good team. Decent team, that. Captain in Bruno. Interesting. Yeah, Watkins injured, mate. I reckon Abraham's going to get a start this weekend. I reckon old Tammy's going to get a start. Ben is a Norwich fan, indeed, confirmed. So yeah, that's where we're at. We play for Bristol City, mate, my team. He was very good for us as well. No leaks so far, mate. I think we're a bit too early for leaks. I think we're a little bit too early for leaks. Teach me tips. Oh, I thought you were going to give us a Bristol City song. Should I start Thiago or Bowen? Don't know, mate. Thiago or Bowen? It depends, really, I'd say. If you've got... I reckon if you've got Chelsea defenders, it's a tough case to start Bowen, isn't it? So it probably depend on how much Chelsea defence you have, really. I just think with Igor Thiago, Villa are not the strongest defence. He could still do something in that game. I think I'd do Lefay to Enzo, I reckon, mate. Offside footy, yeah, I do. I'd prefer to have 2 forwards and 5 in midfield if it were me. But yeah, it's fine. I just don't think there's a better forward. Like, there's not an obvious forward you could bring into that mix, really, to improve things. I think Bruno is the best midfielder in the game. And I'm not mincing my words there. You cannot look at the last 2 games that Bruno has played and not say that he's the best midfielder in the game, I don't think. Which defender from Gameweek 25 and onwards do you like? It's just the Arsenal lot, really, mate, and whoever doubles in Gameweek 26. I think we just need to wait for the Carabao Cup fixtures to play out, and then we decide who to pick based on who doubles. Oh yeah, I saw Olympian's going for he is going for Bruno captain, isn't he? I think that kind of sets the stall and means you shouldn't do it. Olympian captain Semenya, because no one else did. Well, actually, they may have done, to be fair. It was really frustrating last week, actually. I'm gonna have a vent about my team last week, if that's all right. I don't feel I've done it enough yet. I feel we got a bit unlucky. Really. Obviously, the decision to bench Anderson hurt me. I just thought Newcastle at home would have done a little bit better than they did last week. And also, the 1 week where I go against Haaland as my captain, I thought Gabriel against Man United would be a good shout, considering how many points Gabriel has scored in recent weeks, right? Rubbish. 29 points. Crap. Good to see you, Liam, mate. That was crap yesterday, wasn't it? At least I think, I don't know how many Bristol City fans are in this chat. Probably just Liam and one other who's given me a bit of stick. But I think yesterday, with Steve Lansdown's interview and the way that the game played out, opened a lot of people's eyes as to where this club is going to end up, I think. Wildcard activated. Gabriel, Senesi, Cash, Mukiele, Rogers, Bruno captain. I wouldn't pick Szoboszlai or João Pedro if I was using a wildcard, mate. Definitely wouldn't pick the 2 of them. I think I'd have Mbuemo in there if I was wildcarding. Well, I've already made a wildcard team on my channel, so check out that video if you want to see a wildcard team. But I would definitely have not have Szoboszlai or João Pedro in a wildcard team. I did scoff at you starting Dubravka over Raya. Is Anderson from Forest good on the bench? The thing is with Anderson, he's the sort of player that you need to start every week, really. We don't want Liam Manning back, mate. We were, Andy, and then this window we've sold 2 of our best players and haven't spent a single penny in the transfer window. And the owner is basically banking the cash made on those transfers to cover football club losses, which he's entitled to do. But it means as a fan, it's very bloody frustrating because we've lost 2 of our best players and we've not improved the team. So there's only one way this season's going to go. Bazball FPL started his own channel. We love that, mate. I will definitely check out that video after the stream. Can you captain Rob Sanchez? I don't see the point. I hope everything's okay with you as well, Holly. It's good to see you back in the stream. I hope life is resembling somewhat normality again. You said something earlier which I completely ignored. But yeah, I'm just not... The thing is with Haaland... Oh, Tottenham away is a good fixture, isn't it? It's a good fixture. For Bruggen or Dubravka. Get your coin out and flip it, mate. Yeah, Douglas Luiz could be decent. Pen taker getting DEFCON. You've got an injury, haven't you? John McGinn's out, so he might get good minutes, I guess. I don't know. We're going against Haaland next week. Honestly, based on how Liverpool have played from a defensive point of view in recent weeks, would you say that Liverpool Anfield is a tough fixture for Haaland at the moment, especially considering they've got 1 centre-back? I guess maybe Konate be back from his compassionate leave this weekend, I suppose. But yeah. By the way, if you haven't already, we've got 253 people watching at the moment. Thank you everyone for joining. I'd really appreciate if you could subscribe to the channel. We're trying to hit 25,000 subscribers by the end of the season. So if you could hit subscribe, I'd really appreciate that. And also leave a like rating on the stream. We've got 250 people in here at the moment and 30 likes. So I reckon you can leave a like, help me out. Thoughts on Mo Salah? The thing is, right, he's probably going to do all right for the run-in, I think. But he's too expensive, really. I don't know. You have to... I think when you're paying that much for a player in FPL, you have to captain him. And I think Haaland is still better than Salah, I've got to say. I wouldn't sell Haaland. No way. No way. He's just... Every football player, especially in the Premier League, right? The Premier League shows it more than any other division, but every football player goes through a small trough in a season. And that's just what Man City and Haaland are going through at the moment. And you cannot predict when that's going to finish. You just can't predict it. And I think it could finish against Tottenham away this week, and he could score a hat-trick. Like, no one can rule that happening. It's in the pinned message, mate. If you want to get your team reviewed, sign up to the FPL Cartel and then post your team in the GGFF stream chat, and I'll have a look at it. But just let me know when you've put your team in there, because I can't check it the whole stream because we've got people in the chat and stuff. But as soon as your team's posted in there, just let me know. Thoughts on starting Mainu over Bowen? No. Have you seen anything from Bowen to suggest that he's going to score? From Mainu, sorry, to suggest that he's going to score a goal? Nah, I think you stick with Bowen, mate. Mainu is just not it's not an FPL pick for me. Sorry. Cherky will play. Doku is injured. Yeah, Cherky should play. Well, still not sure, to be honest. It's funny that I mean, you're saying start Mainoo over Bowen is differential, but Bowen himself is a differential, mate. Virgil and Tavernier to Munoz and Rogers. I'm not sure about Munoz. I'll be honest. I think I would buy Mbuemo over Rogers as well. Who would you play instead of Cherky? I don't know, mate. Don't know who we've got. I have no idea. Oh, who would they play? That's a good point. I guess you've got Semenyo, Foden, Bernardo Silva, Reinders. All those players as well. Start one, Bowen, Gahey, Groupie. It would be, for me, between Bowen and Groupie, I think. I'd probably start Bowen, you know. Start Bowen or Thiago. I'd start Thiago. I think Thiago's got a better fixture. And he scored 16 goals this season. What's the prediction? I think Haaland almost definitely starts this week. Mukiele for this game week, yeah. I think you only don't need him next week and then you buy him back. Or just keep him. Sunderland are good options in my opinion. Especially, Mukiele, Ballard and Alderete. Cheers, top 10 travel, mate. Cap, Evan Nilsson, Timber, Haaland or Cunha? It's got to be Haaland, mate. Tarkovsky or Chalobah? Yeah, well, you can't really be mindful of it because the game will play out. We'll know after the Carabao Cup games this week who doubles. And you can't really. I think, just no one knows. Who is your must-have player? Bruno Fernandes. Yeah. Who's in the captaincy poll? Let us know. Who would you have in the captaincy poll? I'll do one. Gibbs White versus Wilson. I'd probably say Wilson. Even though it's Man United. 100 likes. Yeah, we've got 300 people in here at the moment. So let's see if we can do 100 likes. Thank you everyone for joining. Yeah, leave a like and subscribe if you can. Haaland. I'll tell you what, it's Haaland, Bruno and other really, isn't it? So we'll do that. Game week 24 captain. Haaland, Bruno. Let me know. Would you captain Mbuemo or Haaland, mate? Definitely. If your choice is Mbuemo and Haaland, I'd captain Haaland. I think Mbuemo is a great player to bring in, but he's not a captaincy shout. He's not on penalties, so that would negate it for me. Score predictions. I've done some. There you go. Are you going to be rolling transfers? I don't know, mate, to be honest. I don't think I need to make that many transfers for the blank, though. We'll see. It's probably just going to be... I'm going to have to keep Gabriel and Haaland for it. And then it all depends on, what happens, really. Bloody hell, J. Dubon. Can I help you? No, maybe not. Maybe that helps you decide who to bench. Hold VVD or best replacement? Best replacement, I think, with the weeks coming up is Timber or Chalobah. Start Wilson, Gravenberch or Garner. I quite like Wilson or Garner out of those two, I reckon. Hopefully score predictions are right. Oh, that's good. Keep Watkins and bench him, or ditch for Evan Nilsson or Ekitike. I think I'd probably get rid. I just wouldn't buy either of those at the moment. I wouldn't buy Evan Nilsson, wouldn't buy Ekitike. I'd almost go for an extra midfielder, to be honest with you. Although, to be fair, long term, I think the best front two is Haaland and Thiago. I think that's almost undeniable, really. Wilson versus Lefay. I think you've got to say Wilson, haven't you, with what he's been doing. So at the -12. Bloody hell, mate. Mate, you shouldn't have done the -12 in the first place. I think there'll be better weeks to bench boost, but this week's not a bad one, really. I probably would bench boost. I wouldn't bench boost to offset the -12, though. I'd only bench boost if you think this is a good week to bench boost in isolation. Does Virgil or Ekitike need to be sold at any point in the near future? I think so, yeah. I just think Chalobah, Timber are the ones to go for. And much like me, it's hard to see alternatives for Ekitike at the moment. Bench one, Bowen, Wilson, or it'd be Mane for me, mate. Van Heck or Reynaldo? Probably Reynaldo. Wilson to Rice or Tavernier to Enzo? Tavernier to Enzo. Got to get rid of the injured player for me. Would you buy Krupi or Mane? Especially since Mane's chance of double but does blank. Still probably buy Max, would it all depends on what your team will look like for that blank game week, really. You should have a think. What do you do if Chelsea doubles in 26? You only have Sanchez and Njai. I'll buy some Chelsea players, mate. I think I'm better set up than most. And I'm buying Chalobah this week as well. If they do double, I'll probably buy Barry and Enzo as well. I think Semenyo plays good minutes this week, yeah. He's not registered for the Champions League, right? So he's going to play good minutes. Start one, Wilson, Senesi, Gehi. Probably Wilson. But it's really tough. They're all, in my mind, they're all very similar in terms of predicted points. Yeah. All it takes is a return from Ekitike. Unfortunately, though, I think... I just think the damage is done, really, isn't it, as an Ekitike owner? Whatever he returns, it's not enough now. So they double. When would they blank? What week? 31, mate. Start Thiago. I'd probably start Thiago, mate. I think the fixture is probably better given current form. And he's on penalties. I've already answered your question, Prince Akundu. Should I bench boost if I have Dubravka, Munoz, Maguire, Mane on the bench? It's not bad, mate. Yeah, you could do. Yeah, I did Thiago to Ekitike, mate. Semenyo or Cunha? Can only keep one if I want Bruno. I'll probably keep Semenyo. Start Bowen or Forrest Anderson, do you think? I'd probably start Anderson, to be honest with you. Free hit in 31? Nah, not for me. I think you got a free hit in game week 34 when there's an even bigger blank. Hunters, you said Wilson over Gibbs White. Yes, because I understand that, and I'd still pick Wilson over Gibbs White. No idea who to bench this game week. Bench one. Ekitike, Enzo, Chalobah, Alderete, Timber. My honest gut feel is I'd bench one of Alderete and Timber of that lot. Do I have too much money in my defence? No, it's fine. The defenders are scoring points, mate. Buy João Pedro? No. I don't think he starts this weekend. I think it's too risky. Start Gahey or Brobby? I'd start Brobby. I don't think Gahey is going to get DEFCON, really, for Man City. And they're not as good from set pieces as Crystal Palace are. Chip strategy. I'm going to dead end into Gameweek 31. So basically, make transfers so that I can survive it. Wildcard in Gameweek 32. And then free hit in Gameweek 34 when there's a blank. And then probably use my bench boost in 33 or 36. And then triple captain either side of that as well. I might even use my triple captain in the double in 26, depending on who has the double. I think Gabriella's captain in that double could be pretty good. JP definitely starts. He too hot. Not sure, mate. Chelsea have got a big game against Arsenal in the Cup midweek. They've also got Liam Delap on the bench, and they're playing West Ham. I think if there was ever a game where João Pedro could get a rest, it's this one. Munoz is decent, but he plays for Crystal Palace, who are not decent. Should I get Rodgers for Wilson? No. Chris Gale, I feel like you're using the transfer to spend the money, and that doesn't make sense in my opinion. Yeah, Thiago is one of the most sold. I think people will regret that. Honestly, I don't think Villa away is a terrible fixture, really. Looking fresh, new haircut. No, but I appreciate the compliment, mate. I just feel, I don't know, it's nice to keep your hair together, isn't it? There's not much you can change about your appearance as a bloke, and I'm not vain, but I just like to get my hair cut regularly. But no new haircut. Hello from Nepal. Joined, sold Haaland, brought João Pedro. Bloody hell. Sold Haaland and bought João Pedro. I've got no words for that, I'm afraid, mate. Would you start Anderson or Ekitike? Yeah. What about the rest of your team? There might be someone else that could be benched there. Honestly, Quantum Bloxing, I just don't think I'd buy either of them. I'm not keen on João Pedro or Evan Nilsson. Honestly, I'm not. I think I'd just go Thiago. I think Thiago is just one of those set and forget all season players, to be honest with you. And he will still, even though there's some tough fixtures, he will crop up with goals in those fixtures. No doubt about it in my mind. Anderson and Wilson. Personally, the guy in my team, mate, Anderson. He is averaging 5 points a game, basically. It's ridiculous, the points he's getting. Yeah, I'll be buying Chalobah this week, mate. I have Dorgu. Oh, blimey. Oh, this is a side hustle, mate. I work 9 to 5, Monday to Friday, make YouTube videos before I start work, and then make YouTube videos at the weekend. I basically just spend my life working at the moment, mate. Thoughts on my team? A good team, mate. I just don't like João Pedro, and I'd just rather have Thiago, mate. Yeah, Anch, I like that. I like that wildcard a lot. I like it a lot. On wildcard, would you go Palmer and Anderson or Mbuemo and Rodgers? Honestly, Mbuemo and Anderson. I think there is a feeling that you need to spend all the money in FPL. There's a feeling that you need to spend the money in FPL, and I think the best team at the moment doesn't involve spending the full money. I'm very lucky Frostbolter in that I work from home most days. When you hang out with your mates, do they ask for FPL advice? Yes. I don't mind it, but it can get a little bit full on at times. Because obviously, like, as you can imagine, I spend hours talking about it. And and then when your mates ask you about it as well, it can get quite overwhelming. But I do my best to help them. What do you do for work, mate? I don't prefer not to say what I do for work, if that's all right. But I'm not a financial advisor. Well, I think I give pretty good financial advice to people, but I'm not an advisor, mate. Should I transfer Wilson or Anderson out for Enzo? You know what? I'd probably say Wilson if I was going to make the move. It's not, tell you what, mate, YouTube is not a game of subscribers really anymore. It's a nice metric to have, which is obviously why I'm aiming for 25,000 subscribers, but the way that the YouTube algorithm works nowadays is no one really looks at their subscription feed. I remember sort of, I don't know, maybe even longer than this, but sort of 5 or 6 years ago, most people when they went on YouTube would look at the people they're subscribed to as the first port of call and watch their latest videos. But now people just go on the For You feed and pick videos, right? So I don't think it's about subscribers. I think it's about the number of views, sponsors and ad revenue you can bring in. A little bit rocking gaming. It's been quite tough to follow this season, to be honest with you. Double Arsenal defence this week. They keep conceding and I own... Yeah, I think so, mate. What defence doesn't concede? You know, I still think Arsenal were the best defence in the league. I'd go... Long term, I'd have Rodgers and Mbuemo, but for the next 4 or 5 weeks, I'd have Mbuemo and Semenyo, I reckon. I'd probably pick Pickford over Verbruggen. King, you were in the chat last week. Bloody rubbish, wasn't it, last night? Yes. Thank you, Lazy-ish. We'll have a look at your team. Yeah, if you're in the Discord, thank you very much for joining. There's a chat in there for both of us, both me and Tom. But this is where you put your team. I can see El Pedro's put his team in. There's me, looking crazed. Yeah, this is a good team. I think, though, I would start Alderete over Tarkowski here. I think Burnley at home for Sunderland is a better fixture than Brighton away for Everton. So I'd start Alderete over Tarkowski. Rest of it's fine. If you really wanted to, you could even bench Krupi and go 4-4-2. Let us know when you've posted your team, Lazy-ish, and I'll have a look at it. Your team value is 104.8, 1.4 in the bank. Yeah, you've done well. Let's have a look and see what mine's saying. Mine's not so great. Yeah, Tarkowski 90% likely to hit DEFCON, alright, but what's Alderete? I think he's... I'd pick Alderete. Bruno G worth keeping in starting 11. Depends who else you have, mate. He's an acceptable player to start, but it just all depends who else you have. Dubravka or Pickford? Pickford this week. I think Pickford's the best goalkeeper in the game. Wow. I think Pickford over the season will be the top scoring goalkeeper in the game, probably. For the next sort of 5 or 6 weeks until I'm wildcarding, I think Sanchez is the best goalkeeper in the game. Hi mate, Dubravka, Richards, Krupi, Chow on my bench. Would that be a cheeky bench boost? Maybe. Yeah, maybe. Maybe. I'm captain at Mo Salah. Hope he has a banger. You could do worse, mate. I think that's a pretty good shout, to be honest. I'll tell you what, if I was to say money no object in FPL this week, who is the best captain? It's hard to say it's not Salah, to be honest, based on current form. I think it's a really good shout if you can do it. Posted your team. There you are. Thank you, mate. It's a good team. The only question is, could you do something with Tavernier? I don't know how much you have in the bank. Foden to Bruno, move. Oh, well, at least you've got him now. Yeah, it's just a question as to whether you start Virgil or Wilson. I don't hate the thought of starting Wilson. It's also whether you use a transfer on Tavernier as well. I don't know how much you have in the bank, but Tavernier to someone like Njai or Mbuemo, depending on how much money you have, could be a really smart move. Or even, yeah, I don't know how many transfers you got. Let me know how many transfers you got, and we'll have a look. To send your team, look at the pin message and sign up to the FPL Cartel, mate. The Bravka over Verbruggen recently has been so good overall. Fair enough. No update on Watkins, mate, but I think he's injured, isn't he? Let's be honest. What are people saying? Have you seen any note? Would you sell Hall to Chalobah for a -4? Absolutely not. Play O'Reilly. Taking hits on defenders is suicide in this game, mate. I wouldn't do it. No updates on Watkins. If you can bench for a better player, do it. Even if Watkins... Yeah, exactly. Cash Anderson, Mane on bench in case Wolves double, or should I go with Krupi? Are you on a wild card? I'd probably pick Mane with that in mind. Hello from Hong. Good to see you, mate. Play Thiago, Romero, or Tarkowski. Thiago, mate. I think you've got to go Thiago. He's got the highest upside, hasn't he? Enjoy or enjoy, mate. I mean, the guy I've got in my team. I'm obviously going to say enjoy. He's in my team, mate. Start Wilson or Barry. Barry. I don't mind Barry, you know. I think I'd play Tarkowski over those lot. I think I'd play Tarkowski. I really have to use the loo as well. Been live for 45 minutes. I'm going to need to use the loo. I'll be back in a minute. Sorry about that, folks. Needed to be done. Hands have been washed. We're good to go. Good to see you, Arkin Blom. O'Reilly or Virgil? I'd actually consider Virgil this week. I don't think they keep a clean sheet, but he probably gets DEFCON at least. Anderson or Enzo to Enzo, or Lefay to Enzo. I'd get rid of Lefay. No, I'd keep Ekitike. Yeah, I'd do Lefay to Enzo and keep hold of Ekitike, I reckon. Start one of Mukiele, Tarkovsky, Gahey. Mukiele. You have one striker to start. Who do you choose? Mane, Barry, Brobby. This week in isolation, Brobby. If your three strikers are Mane, Barry and Brobby, though, not great position to be, I don't think. I think the best front line in FPL is Haaland and Thiago. I will reiterate that. Spent one, but I still have a transfer left. Tempted by Bruno Guimaraes to Mbuemo. Yeah, I don't hate that at all. Have Enzo already and could also drop Hall down to Mukiele. I do like Bruno G to Mbuemo. Yeah, deep blue toff. The more I think about it and the more I look at the poll, it's 346 votes. Most are saying they're captaining Bruno this week. By the way, if you haven't already, we've got about 350 people watching the stream at the moment, which I'm very, very grateful for. Leave a like rating. I'd really appreciate that, and subscribe if you haven't already. I'd really appreciate it. Haaland played 90. Yeah, sorry, just read that, haven't we? Bonjour, Virgil to Chalobah. Don't hate it. You too, G-Wiz, mate. Play O'Reilly or Hall, or transfer one out for Munoz. I don't think Munoz is the one to buy, mate. I think Chalobah, Timber are the two defenders I'd be buying. Otherwise, I'd probably keep hold of them. Gut feel is I'd play O'Reilly, I think. Cheers, Daniel. I appreciate that, mate. Sell Watkins for Ekitike or João Pedro. I'd buy Thiago, mate, if you've... or bench him. I can't recommend buying Ekitike. I know I've got him. I think he's a don't buy, don't sell player. João Pedro, I think, gets benched this weekend. I genuinely think that João Pedro could get benched. Absolutely outrageous from Nixie. The biggest pain, I'd probably bench Timber, you know. I'd probably bench Timber. The thing is with Timber as well, yeah, he's got maybe an attack and return in his locker, but I think he probably only scores points through a clean sheet this week. No Twitter team ratings, mate. If you join the FPL Cartel, which is the pinned message in the chat, that's how we're doing team ratings from now on. I'd probably bench Wilson this week, out of Alderete and Wilson. Yeah, I would agree on that, Frostbolter. I think it all depends who plays at centre-back for Tottenham. I agree. I think Van der Ven and Romero, they're a good pairing, and they could give Haaland some problems, especially Van der Ven and his athleticism. I think running in behind, Haaland's going to struggle. Thoughts on no Haaland? Nah, not for me, mate. The thing is, he might be in a little bit of and Man City might be in a little bit of a rough patch, but you just don't know when the returns are going to come back for him, and I'm sure that they will. Could even happen this week. I wouldn't go against him. And also, I feel in FPL at the moment, you don't need to spend all the money. You know, the best team in FPL probably has Haaland in it, and it doesn't use the full budget. So in my mind, there's just no reason to go without him. Are you talking about 8 Nori? I wouldn't pick 8 Nori. We'll see, Frankie. I'm 60% Haaland captain at the moment. I have to sell Ekitike to afford Bruno Fernandes. I don't know, mate. I wouldn't go that far. If you don't have Thiago, Ryan from Bournemouth, he does look like a good player. My apologies. He does, but you can't pick him yet. You need to give him time. We'll have a look at some team predictions. Actually, I think this will be useful. Give us 2 seconds. We're going to look at some team predictions. So this is Emma, Jump the Wave. The way she works, does a fantastic job. She basically collates lineup predictions from a group of fans from each Premier League team and then does a percentage of how likely the player is to start. So you can see each square is a predictor. Each column is a predictor. So the Arsenal team, Raya, Timber, Gabriel, Saliba, all 100%, and then it's a little bit in between Calafiori and Hincapi. Zubamendi, Rice, Odegaard, Saka, Trossard, and then the other player to start is a little bit uncertain, although most say it's going to be Gyökeres. Villa, Martinez, Cash, Konsa, Pau Torres, Martin, Onana, Sancho, Rogers, Buendia. They're all still predicting Watkins to play. Interesting. Brighton, Verbruggen, Van Heck, Dunk. Rest of the defence a little bit unsure. Kalioglu, Baleba, Ayari, Gross, Mitoma, Jorginho, Ruta, and Welbeck. Chelsea, Sanchez, Chalobah are the two defenders 100%. Badia Shields 100%. Cucurella's up there. Caicedo, Enzo. Enzo's 100% to start this week. Interesting that. Neto, Garnacho, Palmer, and then João Pedro versus Delap is a 50-50. And I think you kind of have to agree with that, really. So I'm just not sure João Pedro starts this week. I think I'm entitled and backed up in that opinion. Okay then, Liverpool. Alisson, Van Dijk, Konate, Kirkez. I think we're probably going to see Szoboszlai at right back. Or maybe Endo. Gravenberch, McAllister, Curtis Jones, Salah, Gakpo, Wirtz, Ekitike. Ekitike 100% to start. Man City, Donnarumma, Nunes, Kuzanov, Gehi, O'Reilly, Rodri, Bernardo Semenyo, Foden, Cherki, Haaland. So Cherki's 88% to play, to be fair. Man United, Lamens, Dallo, Maguire, Martinez, Shaw, Casemiro, Mainu. Yeah, no surprise. Fernandes, Ahmad, Mbuemo, Cunha. I think that team sort of picks itself really this week. Newcastle, Pope, Chow, Botman, Byrne, Hall, Tonali, Miley. Bruno G is only 57% to play. Jacob Ramsey only 57% as well. And it's going to be a Barnes, Gordon, Wissa front three. Tottenham, Vicario's 100%. Romero's 100%. Van der Ven only 56%. Danzo is 78%. Udogi, Spence, Polinia, Gallagher, Odobert, Xavi Simons and Solanke for Tottenham. And those are your lineup predictions. Interesting, eh? Interesting. Haaland is too expensive to bin, but doesn't deserve the armband anymore. But they're playing Tottenham, mate. They're playing Tottenham. With Tavernier out, I think he might. Yeah, that's fair. If you want to buy him, mate, buy him. I'd hold fire. Yeah, Thiago, you're right, but he takes penalties and he scored 16 goals this season. So, I mean, write him off, sure. I get it with the away record, but I think do so at your peril. Enzo captaincy. I just think with Chelsea, this game, the minutes are too uncertain. The minutes are too uncertain. Can you check transfers in? Certainly can. Here we are. That's the most transferred in players this week. João Pedro. Nearly 1 million people have bought João Pedro, who could well be benched this week. It's quite interesting, that, isn't it? I think João Pedro could very easily be benched this week. Exactly. I think Fulham is a very different test for United than the last 2 games have been. They will have to change things up to beat Fulham, and also I think there's a real risk that they could underestimate them as well. Yeah, people buying Dorgu is quite funny. 250,000 people bought Dorgu. Would you cap Semenyo over Haaland? No. I think if you don't back Haaland, you don't back Man City as a whole, to be honest with you. Haaland is still the best option from Man City. Unless you think Haaland's not going to play, which I don't think. That's the only reason to do it. Right, why you bought a player in that's first on your bench? Why have you done that? You think his form is too good to be benched, but they're playing West Ham. And they've got Delap. I think it's the perfect opportunity for Rosenior to give Delap a start, keep João Pedro hungry. I think João Pedro. I would bench João Pedro if I was Rosenior this week. I think not that he deserves to be benched, but just that you want to rest him for the Arsenal game midweek. Would you risk having Palmer? I wouldn't know. I think Sanchez, Chalobah, Enzo are the 3 Chelsea assets to have. Mate, I wouldn't sell. There's no point selling João Pedro if you bought him. I think you've made your bed if you've bought him. But you can't be selling him. Yeah, Palmer starts this week. I think he probably starts, but just doesn't play the full 90. I think Enzo probably plays 60, 70 minutes, would be my view. Sanchez, Enzo, João Pedro. I just think João Pedro is getting benched this week. Sebastian, I rate that, mate. I accidentally went live at 6:30 a.m. UK time, thinking the deadline was at 11, and it's not. I've already been live for an hour as well. An hour has just absolutely flown by. Captaincy is interesting, yeah. The majority in the poll are saying Bruno now. If you haven't already, by the way, leave a like rating on the stream. Subscribe to the Gold and Gold channel. I'd really appreciate that. And cast your vote in the captaincy poll in the chat. I can understand hopping on, but I just don't think he starts this week. Would you take a -4 for Tavernier? 0.8 in the bank you've got. .8 in the bank. Can you do Tavernier to Enjoy? I think I'd do Tavernier to... You can either do nothing, which is a way to play it, and just start this team, which I think is fine. Or you could do Tavernier to Njai and bench Gahey. I do like Njai. I think I'd consider Tavernier to Njai. Or you could do Van Dijk to Chalobah and start Wilson instead of Gahey. I think I would probably play Wilson over Gahey if I had Wilson. But you could also do Van Dijk to Chalobah. Just thinking about it out loud. That would also work. I think I would start Wilson over Gahey though this week. Ida. Sanchez, Timber, Gabriel, Alderete, Rice, Bruno Fernandes, Enzo. I think I'd start Elliot Anderson over Bruno Gomes, and the rest of the team is great. I would start Anderson over Bruno G. You don't strictly have to pay for a team review, mate. I know Southcoast Runner is embarrassing. Yeah, just sign up to the cartel using the link in the description. We're running a 1 week free trial, so you don't technically have to pay for the first week, but I'm trying to grow the cartel, our little business in Discord, if you like. I think it makes sense to do the team reviews in there, and like I said, you can use the free trial to get a team review and see if you like the cartel as well. Do you think not having Haaland, Fernandes and Salah? No, I don't. Mane or Krupi Jr.? None of them if you're not wildcarding. I don't think you need to buy them this week. No leaks at the moment. Do you think Arsenal will concede at Leeds? Maybe. I think they're probably... Let's have a look. What are the odds saying? 42%. So that suggests they're more likely to concede than keep a clean sheet. But 42% odds for a clean sheet is still pretty good. You read it as you think not having Tom, but he said you do think having. Cheers, mate. I'm not too sure what message you're talking about, though. Oh, do you think having... Oh, I see. I get it now. You think having Salah in addition to Haaland and Bruno is an advantage? Maybe in terms of points, but then buying Salah for 14 million when you're not going to captain him, you wonder who else is in your team if you're doing that. Tavernier to Elliot Anderson or Dewsbury Hall? I think Elliot Anderson and Dewsbury Hall probably score almost identical points for the run to the end of the season. Dewsbury Hall's points will look like 2-2-2, 10, 2-2-2, and Elliot Anderson's points will look like 4-4, 5-5, 4-4 for the rest of the season. They'll probably score about the same amount of points, and that's how it'll work. That's my opinion. Dorgu, O'Reilly, Gordon, one free transfer. I could buy Timber, I could get Chalobah, maybe Rodgers or Palmer. I think in your position, it makes sense to get Timber. They're more likely to double in Gameweek 26. And let's be honest, the Arsenal defence is better than Chelsea. I'd probably buy Timber, but I'm going to buy Chalobah this week. But I'm already tripled up on Arsenal as it is. Would you start Bruno G? I'd probably start Krupi Jr. I would have Enzo and Fernandez. I would have Enzo and Bruno, Marcus. What do you think of my wild card? It's decent, mate. Yeah, I wouldn't pick Watkins because he's injured. I probably wouldn't pick Saka on a wild card. I've already made a wild card draft video, so I checked that out on my channel, and I would literally just tell you to pick that team because it's my wild card team, to be honest. Yeah, I could get Chalobah any time, really. His price has already gone up, so the pain has already been dealt. Just get it. I'll just get him in a sec. Should I just get Chalobah now? When do Chelsea kick off? So, yeah, we're not going to get a leak for 5:30. Okay, I'll do it now. There we go. It's done. No doubt Chow will keep a clean sheet and Defcon score a goal. Yeah, I don't want to though, Nixie. I quite like the structure of my team, having the money in the bank. I like having cash. I think cash will help me. And also, I quite like, I don't know how you guys feel. But come game week 31 in the blank, Man United away at Bournemouth. Maybe not. Maybe it's not Haaland. Yeah, I prefer my structure that way. I also think when you look at Anderson and Rodon, coming fixtures not bad. Like, you could arguably start both of them next week. Forest at home for Rodon, Everton at home for Anderson. Why Haaland captain? He's the top scoring player in the game, mate. Why'd you have Njai and not Dewsbury Hall? Well, he's averaging 9.8 defensive contributions per game, and he's on penalties for Everton. And he's playing on the left wing because there's no Grealish. That's why I have him. And you can't tell me that Dewsbury Hall, coming back from a hamstring injury, does not carry some risk, right? When you're coming back from a hamstring injury, it's not 100% that you're going to play 90 minutes every week. So I'm going for Njai. Richards and Anderson. I don't really want Richards, mate. I don't trust Palace anymore. I play Thiago, Makor. Start 2, Cherky, Tarkowski, Gahey, Wilson. Tarkowski and... So Gahey would be the one of those four that I wouldn't start, and I'll leave the rest up to you. But I wouldn't start Gahey. The rest is really close. Start Tarkowski, Raul or Gordon. Cut Phil says Raul Jimenez there. What about Douglas Luiz? I need to see more, mate. Need to see if he actually hits Defcon. What do you think of my wild card? Verbruggen, Mukiele. Looks decent, mate. I've already answered this question. I wouldn't pick Watkins, and I've made a video. If you keep spamming my chat with the same question when I've literally answered it, you're gonna get a timeout, mate. I literally answered the question, and yet you continually spam the chat. If you've left and rejoined in between, like, me answering the question, that's your fault. Start Mane or Garner? I actually say Garner. Gut feel is Garner, mate. Gut feel says Garner. I'm scared for this game week. It'd be fine. It's only one game week. There's only a game. Start O'Reilly or Chow. O'Reilly for me. Start two of Bowen, Krupi, Harry Wilson. Bloody hell. Bloody hell. What does the chat think on that one? Bowen, Krupi, Harry Wilson, start two. Thoughts on Ekitike to Bowen and Tavernier to Enzo Fernandez? Tavernier to someone cheaper. I would do Ekitike to Thiago if you don't already have Thiago. And Tavernier to Enzo Fernandez. Yeah. I just think the best front two in FPL is Haaland Thiago at the moment. Yeah, if bench is good, just play the bench boost, yeah. I don't disagree. Start Elliot Anderson or Thiago. I'd probably start Thiago, but I reckon there's someone else in your team that Anderson should be playing instead of, with the way he's scoring points. Rebecca, good to see you. I would start Mukiele. Have we had any confirmed transfers? Don't think so. Bench Timber? I don't know, mate. It's impossible to say without knowing your team. I'm a little bit put off by Enzo now. I think he's better than both of Szoboszlai and Lefebvre, mate. If I had funds, I'd get Gabriel in. Yeah, Gabriel, I think, is the best defender in the game, let's be honest. Who would you bench? Ekitike, Wilson, Rice, or Wirtz? Gut feel it's one of Wilson or Wirtz. I have two City defenders in my starting 11, Guehi and Mateus Nunes. Do you think I should transfer? Yeah, I do. Is João Pedro a good pick? No. I don't think so. Puff your chest out, am I? Interesting. I did think about selling Ekitike this week. Thing is though, who'd you get? You've got some swag now from when what do you mean? I was just responding to a bloke who was asking the same question 3 times. We got 300 people watching. They don't deserve to hear me answer the same question like 4 or 5 times. I think it's valid. Should I transfer out Cunha for Mbuemo / Enzo or roll one free transfer? No, I keep Cunha. I think he's alright. I would prefer Mbuemo, but we'll see. You're talking about Haaland Thiago as the best forward. The thing is, I also value the points. I also see a transfer as being worth a number of points, Nixie, if that makes sense. I think a transfer is probably worth 4 points in the game, isn't it? And do I think that Thiago is worthy of being transferred in this week? Probably not. I'd have sold it. See, that's kind of my thinking, mate. Does that make sense? I'd have sold Ekitike and Gu to Evan Nilsson and Brobby. Not for me. If Evan Nilsson takes a penalty and scores it for Bournemouth, it'd be a different story, but I just can't trust Evan Nilsson, I'm afraid. I've got a midfield of Mbuemo, Rice, Bruno, Enzo, Lefebvre. If I don't green this weekend, I'll be fuming. It's a good midfield. Sold Thiago, maybe getting back for O'Reilly to Munoz. I'd get Chalobah, mate. Yeah, no, that's fair enough, Nixie. Midfielders are Bruno G, Saka and Jai, Bruno F and Enzo. Roll or go Bruno G to... I would go Bruno G to Enzo, mate. Gabriel, Senesi, Timber, Bruno, Enzo and Mbuemo, Rice. Nice. Delap as a differential. I think it's a total coin toss as to whether Delap or João Pedro start this week. Munoz, I'm not convinced. Not convinced by Palace, I'll say. Bloody hell, we've got nearly 400 people watching the stream at the moment. Thank you everyone for joining. If you haven't already, please leave a like rating. We got 400 people watching, 165 likes. If you could help me out by leaving a like rating, I'd appreciate it. And subscribe to the Golden Goal channel as well. We're trying to hit 25,000 subscribers by the end of the season. I think it's possible, but I need your help. It would be amazing to hit 25k by the end of the season. What's your transfer this week? I've already done it, mate. I did Malik Chow to Chalobah. You can laugh at me if you like, but I think it makes sense. And then further down the line, I think we'll do something with Arsenal to get Gabriel, Timber and Rice as a 3. But I can't justify at the moment selling Saka, because I think he starts this week. And again, I can't justify selling Ekitike. Ekitike or Thiago. Thiago. I've already answered that a load of times though. Do you design your own? I design them all, mate. The beauty is you design all the templates and then reuse them, so you don't have to put in the effort once they're done. But yeah, I mean, I do all my graphics. I had a little bit of help in terms of thumbnails and stuff from Alex Follow. He's done a great job, but a majority of the graphics are done by me with a little bit of help from him. But all of the graphics you're seeing on screen at the moment, I did. Should I do Saka and O'Reilly to Mbuemo and Chalobah? I like O'Reilly to Chalobah. I don't like necessarily Saka to Mbuemo. Maybe. It depends what your long-term plans are for Chelsea, really. Well, for Arsenal. I'd probably wait and see what happens with the double as to what I do with Saka. To get Bruno Fernandes, I need to get Krupi Jr. or Mane. Flip a coin. Honestly, flip a coin between the two of them. Start Bowen or Krupi. I think I'd start Bowen. Foden for either Mbuemo or Enzo. Bin Saka for Rice. Already got Rice. I think this week Mbuemo is better. But long term, over the next 4 weeks, Enzo's probably better. That's my thoughts. I do really like Mbuemo. Van Dijk or Njai for me, I think. Virgil van Dijk to Chalobah or Roll. I'd probably do Van Dijk to Chalobah. Yeah, I'll probably do it. It just depends. I mean, in your mind, who's more likely to keep a clean sheet? And is it worth a transfer? That's the decision, really. It'd be one of the doubles, mate. 26, 34, or 36. Those are the doubles. Sorry, 26, 33, and 36. Yeah, the thing is, though, with Saka, just know his potential. So it's very hard to get rid of him. He's not been terrible. Like, even in the last few games, his numbers are still pretty decent. 0.63 XGI per 90 is still pretty good. Who to sell for Bruno, Gordon or Cherky? Both. You could sell either. I think Cherky both probably start this week is the problem. Good morning, kind sir. I think you could get rid of Gahey. Yeah, I think you could get rid of Gahey to get Timber in. I was tempted to swap Saka to Mbuemo. I think so, yeah. Why don't you just swap Saka to Rice? I want to do Van Dijk to Chalobah, but I want to roll... Yeah, leave it. If you're not sure about a transfer, just leave it. Cheers, Uwe. Yeah, check out the Golden Goal mugs, ladies and gents, as well. For me, João Pedro could well be benched this week. I just think he's a total 50-50 compared to Delap as to who starts, and I just wouldn't pick him this week. No, I don't think I'd captain Enzo. Even if he does score loads of points and do well, I don't think the justification is there, because I think Palmer's going to start and take penalties. If Enzo was starting and we knew Palmer wasn't, I'd captain him. Tom, what's up, mate? Palmer feels like a lottery, I agree. I think the guy needs surgery on his groin injury, and he's not getting it. Tavernier will be back at 27. Okay. I've seen that. Well, what? Yeah, okay. It's not news, though. It's Gameweek 24. That's in 3 weeks' time. Why is that news? Would you keep or sell Bowen? Probably keep him, but Thiago's the other striker to go for, mate. Oh, God, Ben, that doesn't make sense. I would not buy Badiashile. I think you just do Foden to Bruno, Cunha to Enzo, and Bruno G to Rice. You don't need to do the Keane to Badiashile move. That doesn't make sense to me. Rose, I would definitely start Elliot Anderson over Creepy Jr., I think. Timber over Gahey for me. Is O'Reilly a sell? Maybe. Depends who you don't have, who you want. If you don't have Chalobah, I'd probably go for him. I don't think I'd captain Gabriel over Haaland. For me, the two captaincy shouts this week are Haaland and Bruno. João Pedro or Thiago? I'd still say Thiago. Is Watkins an option? Not for me. Not for me. If he was on penalties, yes. But he's quite possibly one of the worst penalty takers I've ever seen. Semenyo or Rice? Rice. Yeah, Rice is very good. I have to do it to afford the Badiashile move. I don't understand. You don't need to sell Keane and buy Badiashile. Just do Foden. Just do the Foden, Bruno G, and Cunha moves. I struggle to understand why you can't afford to do those moves. Foden to Bruno, Bruno G to Rice, Cunha to Enzo should all be affordable without a hit. I think Timber starts, yeah. They all got rest in the Champions League. They're ready to go, mate. Yeah, I think Tammy comes straight in, but I don't think you can trust him yet. There's a real, I think, bedding in phase that Tammy Abraham will need to go through. O'Reilly to Mukiele. For this week, Mukiele looks good, but I think I prefer Chalobah. Start two of Haaland, Alderete, Rodgers and Munoz. Why is Haaland in that list? I would start Haaland. For me, it's one of Alderete and Rodgers alongside Haaland. Would you start Gahey over Wilson? No, I'd start Wilson over Gahey, I think, if I had Wilson. Thiago to Barry? No, keep Thiago. Trust me, keep Thiago. It's not worth the transfer. Would you take out Guimaraes or Cherky? Actually, this week, I think Cherky's more likely to start. But long term, I'd have him gone. Start Haaland, Bruno F, Gabriel. I'd bench Mukiele. You've got to bench Mukiele of that lot. Even though he's got a great fixture, you've got to bench him. Would you sell Sharda this week to have someone like Rodgers? Yeah. I think Sharda to Mbuemo makes sense. Oh, the Keane to someone else other than Badiashile you can buy, mate. How much is Badiashile? Is he cheap, is he? Sorry, I get it. I thought Badiashile was... Oh, he's 4.4. Just get Alderete, mate, from Sunderland. Just get Alderete. Get Alderete or Rodon, someone like that. Don't buy Badiashile. Not worth it. He'll take up a third Chelsea slot as well. Not worth it. Don't buy Badiashile. You've lied about one thing. I haven't lied. When did I say João Pedro wasn't a good penalty taker? Thanks again. Watkins for Thiago and Foden Oh, mate, that message doesn't make sense. Sorry. Good luck to you too, Cragman. If you haven't already, we've got 400 people watching now. Thank you very much. Please do leave a like rating on the stream and subscribe to the Golden Goal channel. I'd really appreciate that. Let's see if we can do 250 likes on the stream. And yeah, hit subscribe if you haven't already. I'd really appreciate that. Can you check Discord? Yes, mate. Of course. Please, if you've put your team in the cartel chat, I can't just have it on screen all the time, but just let me know if you post it. Right, let's read what he's had to say. Want to go Cherky to Enzo, Sobo to Bruno, Vandenberg, Senesi, Ekitike, Evan Nilsson. I think Szoboszlai to Bruno, definitely. I don't know how much you have in the bank though, but I think bringing in Szoboszlai as a getting rid of Szoboszlai for Bruno is a priority. Vandenberg, you can wait. Yeah, Szoboszlai to Bruno's got to be done. And honestly, mate, I still think Thiago is better than Evan Nilsson. I just don't think you can argue with 16 goals. I just think Thiago's better, mate. I know the fixtures aren't great, blah, 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 but he's just better, in my opinion. Score predictions, I do. There you go. Start one of João Pedro, Rogers and Alderete. I think if you've made your João Pedro bed, you should start him. But I think he's 50-50. I think if you've picked João Pedro, you've got to play him, mate. Saka does need to improve. Arsenal need to improve in general. I think they're feeling the pressure of being in the title race. It's pretty much undeniable, you know. From an attacking point of view, they are pretty crap. Sanchez, Gabriel, Chalobah, Tarkowski, Timber. Nice. Yeah, nice team. I don't like Cunha. I don't think I'd pick Cunha. Be the only thing. And I would definitely start Thiago this week. I think I'd start Thiago over Tarkowski this week. Would you start Garner or Tarkowski? I'd probably start Tarkowski. Tarkowski over Gahey? Yeah, I probably would. 2 free transfers, and my only route to Mbuemo/Enzo is to sell Ekitike. Would you go to Ekitike to Mane? I don't know who you've already got, mate. It makes it really difficult to know. I don't know who you'd be selling to get Enzo or Mbuemo. Gahey a safe pick against Tottenham? Not safe, but it's probably the best. He's the best I've got, I think. It's a question, actually. You know, who is better to start out of Gahey and Anderson? My gut feel is it's Gahey, but I don't think it's certain. Chow or Richards? Who have Palace got? Palace got. I'd start Richards. Captain Bruno over Mbuemo all day, every day. Cherky or Gordon? Probably Cherky. I'd start Thiago over Cherky. Be selling Lewis Miley. I would sell Ekitike to Thiago. Sell Ekitike to Thiago and then buy who you can afford. if you can't do it, I wouldn't. I just avoid Enzo, and I just wouldn't. Yeah. Actually, yeah, I think that makes sense. The more I think about it, go for a midfield 5. Yeah, I think that makes sense. Already have Haaland, Thiago up front. I think it makes sense, mate, to do that. I think it makes sense. I think it makes sense to do that, Kieran. Yeah, I think it makes sense to do that, mate. And then it's up to you who out of Mbuemo and Enzo you want. To be honest, mate, with how my season's going, if I was inside the top 100k, I think I'd be quite happy. It's annoying because I keep getting red arrows, but I think my team's pretty good. Surely this is a pretty good FPL team. I don't trust Forest at all, mate. I think, yeah, Bruno G to Mbuemo. Good shout. I wouldn't do it for a hit, though, Darren. Bench Wilson or Van Dijk. It's close. Because I think Van Dijk gets DEFCON. Yeah, get a coin out and flip the coin, mate. I'd start Thiago over Bruno G. Yeah, I agree, John. You got to wait for a double for that triple captain. There's going to be 3 double game weeks, I think. Alderete or Hill. Alderete, definitely. Start Tarkowski or Cash. Gut feel is Tarkowski. I think West Ham get a result. I see. Njai to Enzo. No. No, you pick one and stick, in my opinion. I've picked Njai. I've made my bed. I'd bench Krupi and start Njai. Bloody hell, fair play, Kieran. Calafiori, Harry Wilson and Evan Nilsson versus Timber, Rogers, Krupi Jr. I wouldn't touch Calafiori. I wouldn't touch Evan Nilsson. Don't like any of them, really. I think Timber, Rogers and Krupi Jr. is the best, though. That'd be my thoughts. I do have the super chat option, mate. Someone's done a super chat. Start Wilson over Bruno G. I think I probably would, I think I probably would do that. I don't think that's a bad shout. Start Krupi Jr. over Bruno G. Yeah, I probably would as well. Newcastle have just got such a terrible away record. Gabriel, yeah, Laura, I wouldn't use a transfer. I'm jealous of your Enzo based on how last week went. I feel like there wasn't much to separate Njai and Enzo. I'm hoping this week Njai has the edge because I'm a little bit thoughtful of Enzo's minutes, to be honest with you. Sorry, just checking Instagram a second. It's popped. It's all right. My pleasure, Laura. Make sure you've already subscribed if you're in the chat. I appreciate that. Alex, play Alderete. Yeah, play Alderete, mate. Definitely. Start 1, Tarkowski, Bruno G, DCL. Tarkovsky or DCL for me. Would you transfer out Tavernier for a -4? Well, you don't have... He's not going to play, mate, so I'd just start cash. I wouldn't take a hit. I think I would start Thiago and Mukiele out of those 4. Everton defender or Garner. Thing is, if you believe your Everton defender is going to get DEFCON, then it's a case of who's more likely? Are they more likely to keep a clean sheet, or is Garner more likely to get an attacking return? And that's how you make your decision. Gahey may get 4 points. What makes you think Gahey is going to get defensive contribution points playing for Man City? I don't think he will. I'd start Wilson. That logic's not sound. Gahey may also get 2 points, mate. Dubravka or Kelleher? This week I'd say Dubravka, I think, mate. Giving Saka the armband. I don't think he is due a haul. That's risky. Do I bench O'Reilly or Mukiele? I think you bench O'Reilly. Yeah, you could well do that, Nixie. Bench 1, Enzo, Rogers, Chalobah or Timber? Honestly, gut feel is Rogers. Sounds crazy, but I'd say Rogers. I'd sell Bruno G. But they're both... I wouldn't have either of them in my team. Okay, he wasn't great for DEFCON against Palace, you're right. My pleasure. I'm not going to repeat your name because it sounds dodgy, but I'm happy to help. Should I start João Pedro? Well, if you bought him this week, I think you should, but I wouldn't have him. Good to see you, John. Thanks, mate. Bench 1, Thiago or Krupi. I bench Krupi. Play Thiago. I just don't think Villa are that good defensively, are they? Could definitely see Thiago scoring. Will Ekitike start? I'm pretty sure Ekitike will start. We had a look at Liverpool fan predictions, and it looked like 100% out of, I think, 15 predictors said that Ekitike was going to start. So that was enough for me. Thiago or Cherky? Thiago. Senesi, Chow, Rice to Hill, Timber, Rogers. No, that just absolutely doesn't make sense. Dubravka or Keller? I've already answered that. Concert over Richards? No, I'd have Richards. I think Richards probably more likely to keep a clean sheet and get DEFCON. Concert's not a DEFCON defender. What are your thoughts on Wilson instead of Mbuemo or Enzo? Nah, I think Mbuemo or Enzo are the two to go for. Hi, Rogers versus Semenyo on wildcard. I'd probably say Semenyo. I don't think I'd have either of them. I think I'd favour Njai, Rice, Enzo and Mbuemo over all of them though. On wildcard, would you go with Mbuemo / Krupi or Evan Nilsson / Wilson? I think Mbuemo / Krupi if you've got 5 in midfield. Brobby over Krupi Jr. Nah. I just don't rate Brobby. And not in the game anyway. Brother, should I captain Haaland? Look who my captain is. I wouldn't take a hit for Enzo. But which one out of Enzo or Mbuemo? Mate, I can't decide. I'm sorry. I would pick the one that fits best into your long-term plans as well. Obviously Enzo's cheaper, so that could factor into it as well. Bench Wilson, Garner or Krupi? Garner, but it's really tough, mate. Double Arsenal defence or double attack? My favourite Arsenal triple up is Gabriel, Timber and Rice. But if you've got Saka, I wouldn't sell him this week. Hi, on a wild card, Rogers or Semenyo, and I'd pick Thiago, and I think I'd pick Semenyo, but I would rather have Enzo and Mbuemo over Semenyo. Josh Guns, I've made a wild card video actually. If you check out my channel, there is a wild card draft video. I think I'd start Cherky, Janius. Cherky and Foden, yeah, I think they do play this week, to be honest. Foden or Raul Jimenez. I'll probably play Foden. Bruno or Gabriel. Bruno for me, I think. I'm backing Dubravka over Kelleher, I'd agree. Someone asked me that a few times. I stopped answering, but you said it. I'd say the same. Don't know who the Bournemouth penalty taker is. I think the most likely one is Evan Nilsson, but we don't know. VDK. Who's VDK? Don't know on Van der Ven and Porro, mate. We just don't know. Quite simply. Would you start Van Dijk or Senesi? I think I'd start Senesi. We've done some score predictions, mate. Yep. Here they are. Good to see you, Arlian. Are you going to bring in any Wolves players? Probably not. No. Do you think the Mbuemo pick is sustainable? Yeah, I do. I think he's decent. It's alright, mate. You don't worry about missing it. Why is everyone ignoring Munoz? Because Palace are crap, mate. That's why. Palace are rubbish. Thought on Watkins, big dog. Not for me. I think I'd start Elliot Anderson over Harry Wilson. Munoz still essential. Not for me. What are your thoughts on Hill for 3.9? He's alright, yeah. He's fine. There's multiple options at that price point. I think you've got Alderete, Rodon, him. Much of a muchness between them all. I think I probably prefer Alderete, to be honest. I find it very hard to trust the Bournemouth defence. Ortega's gone the Forest. Man, Forest buying keepers, mad. Sells is fine. I'm a Man United fan, so I wouldn't leave any opportunity. Fair enough. Yeah, Palace are just... It's not trustworthy. Yeah, I don't get Mateta moving to Forest, mate. I think it's a matter of ambition, though. I think one thing you can say, despite his craziness, is that Marinakis is not afraid to put his hand in his pocket. Should I sell Saka? I don't think this is the week to sell Saka. I don't know, mate. I think Marinakis just makes knee-jerk decisions on goalkeepers. As soon as a goalkeeper makes a mistake or doesn't have a great game, he wants to sell them. Yeah, I think Mateta's off to AC Milan as well. Certainly looks like it. I mean, I picked the goalkeeper that's in my team, mate. Streamer or Steamer. With Arsenal and Chelsea having so many options in a triple up, is it better? Nah. For me, the best Chelsea triple up is Sanchez, Chalobah and Enzo. The best Arsenal triple up is Gabriel, Timber or Saka and Rice. That's it, really. Sam the Goat, there's a video on my channel, mate. Check it out. I made it on Sunday, and it's still the same. No, I wouldn't keep Szoboszlai. Not anymore. Won't be on penalties. Probably playing right back today. Wouldn't keep him. Plenty of other options around that price that are better. Njai, Mbuemo, Enzo, all better in my opinion. Start Bowen or Mateus Nunes / Gahey. Bowen. Be cool if you had deadline countdown. Fair enough. We'll have a look at that, mate. We will have a look at that. Thoughts on Calafiori on wildcard if he starts today? A lot timber than cheaper. Nah. A lot timber than cheaper. No, I wouldn't do it. Dubravka, Cunha, Mane, Chell, bench boost. How often are you going to have Cunha on your bench? Maybe. Feels like a big game for Matt. It does, yeah. It's a big game for Arsenal as well. I think they need to score some goals. They need to score some open play goals this week. Already have Enzo. Don't have money for Mbuemo, straight switch. So I have to keep Szoboszlai and Njai. I don't like his data. Interesting. Njai gets Defcon and is on pens. Sell Ekitike to Bowen and Tavernier to Enzo, or just Tavernier to someone cheaper. Ekitike to Bowen, Tavernier to Enzo. Just Tavernier to someone cheaper. I would do Tavernier to Enzo. Punt on Ayari? Nah. Who are the best 3 forwards to transfer in this week, apart from Haaland? It's literally just Thiago for me, mate. I would stay clear of her. I would not do Kelleher to Sanchez for a hit. Taking a hit for a goalkeeper is mental. Just stick with Kelleher. You probably have Dubravka on your bench, and Dubravka is fine this week. Best Arsenal defender, there isn't one, mate. It's Saliba, but I wouldn't pick him. But Thiago doesn't score against good teams. I don't care. I'm sorry, I think Haaland and Thiago are the 2 best forwards in the game. That's my opinion. All of the other forwards, I think, have too many doubts about them. Thiago, he scored 16 Premier League goals this season, plays every game for Brentford, takes penalties. All of the rest of the forwards have too many doubts about them, in my opinion. I'm not doing Ekitike to Thiago because I don't think it's worth a transfer, even though I think Thiago's better. That's my thought. And I did do Thiago to Ekitike 4 or 5 weeks ago. Start Thiago or Bowen? Thiago. Best midfielder, 6.5 million price range. Iliman and Jai, I reckon, mate, or Elliot Anderson. Should I sell Voltemada? Yes, get him gone. Get Thiago in, or bring in a midfielder. Timber captain, mate, that makes no sense. Sell Wilson for Enzo. Yeah, it's not a horrendous move. You might regret selling Wilson, but I think as a replacement, it's not bad. Gabriel Jesus, no. Wouldn't pick an Arsenal striker, mate. Considered Ekitike to Watkins. No, terrible move. Why is Wilson a sell? Don't think he is. Didn't say he was. I think you'd probably regret selling him. I just think, yeah, exactly, mate. Daniel, you're absolutely right. Start 2 of Alderete, Virgil, Thiago. I'd probably play Alderete and Thiago. Enzo captain. Nah, he won't be on pens this week because Palmer will play. I'd definitely start Pickford over Lamans. Having both of those in your team is terrible, though. You just want Pickford and Dubravka, mate. Would Garner to Njai be worth the transfer? Possibly. I think Garner's off pens now, but still on set pieces. It's a bit of a luxury move, though. Norcal Soccer Lab. No, good team. Yeah, Bruno now predicted more points. Start Van de Ven or Rodon? I'd start Van de Ven. Got more goal yeah, I'd start Van de Ven. Oh, yeah, I'd start Van de Ven. Would you start O'Reilly or Richards? Definitely Richards this week. Start Mukiele over Richards? Probably would, yeah. Glenn, I'd probably start Munoz. Even though I wouldn't buy Munoz, I think he's the best one to start over those three. Exactly, Arjen. I wouldn't sell Haaland. You don't need to spend all the money in FPL at the moment, and the forward options are terrible. Start Munoz over Thiago. No, I'd start Thiago. Gabriel, Richards, Chalobah, Anderson. Yeah, you're probably best off benching Anderson there. Semenyo or Rogers on wildcard? I'd have neither. I'd have Mbuemo or Enzo over them both. I'd go Sanchez over Donnarumma. Donnarumma is not a pick in FPL for me. Doesn't make enough saves. Would you do -4? No, just bench Dorgu, mate. You don't need to take the hit. Palmer captain? I tell you could do a lot worse. You could do worse. I think he starts, doesn't he? Palmer, yeah. Palmer captain doesn't sound too bad this week. It's very differential. You are just taking a risk with his injury, but I do think he starts. I suppose transfers will be fun once we know who has done exactly. Should I get Mbuemo over Rice or Gibbs-White? Yeah, I'll probably have Mbuemo over Gibbs-White. Yeah, long term, Palmer's not a good pick. For Game Week 24 in isolation, I think he's alright. Was tempted by Partey. Do you think double Arsenal? Yes. I still think Arsenal are the best defence in the league. I wouldn't have Barry, not until the Everton double's confirmed. If Saka blanks one more time, I swear he's out fast. Carry through a pensioner. Yeah, just get Rice. Just wait and see who doubles. Triple Arsenal defence now. I think you have Gabriel, Timber, Rice. Double is as many as I would want to go. What will people who are captaining Bruno for differential do now? I don't think you ever captain for the sake of being differential, I'll be honest. I think you should always captain who you think is the best captain each week. And Mbuemo in, Saka out. Not for me. No, I'd stick with Saka. Should I sell Watkins? Thiago's the best replacement, I think. Laura, I'm definitely nervous about it. Yeah, Ismail Assar could be alright. Play Tarkowski or Anderson. I'd play Elliot Anderson, I think. Yeah, talking about will this United form keep up, I think Fulham is a different challenge. A team that Man United could underestimate. That's my first thought. And second of all, it will be they're a different level of quality to City and Arsenal as well. Man United probably have more of the ball. And I wonder how they play with more of the ball. Are you not scared of... I am definitely scared of Haaland scoring some goals, mate. It's absolutely right, TMC. Who's your preferred O'Reilly replacement? I think Chalobah. Or we wait and see who doubles in 26. Bring in Enzo or Rice. They're complete 50-50, mate. I'd probably bring in Rice because he's more likely to double in 26, isn't he? I would start Thiago versus Villa, I think, mate. Thanks. Also unsure on Pedro. I wouldn't bring in Pedro because I don't even know if he starts, to be honest. How long do you reckon Frank has left? He could lose today, couldn't he? Lansdowne out. Yeah, there's going to be a video made from me about him. Don't worry. We'll do something after the window closes. Why is Evan Nilsson all of a sudden so highly rated as a forward to buy? Well, he's probably going to start every week for Bournemouth. I think there's a semi-decent chance that he takes penalties. All of that combined, I think, is why you'd consider it. Final team: Pickford, Timber, Gabriel, Chalobah, Bruno Fernandes, Rice, Mbuemo, Palmer, Brobby, Haaland, Pedro. Yeah, good team. I just wouldn't pick Palmer, mate. I'd have Enzo over Palmer. I wouldn't pick Brobby, and I wouldn't pick João Pedro. Haaland, Thiago, Enzo instead of Palmer. João Pedro is too much for a risk. Senesi's playing against Wolves, yeah, but Bournemouth are crap defensively. They're crap away from home. Wolves are better than they were. It's just my opinion. You asked my opinion. If you still think you'd rather start Senesi, start Senesi. I would start Chalobah over Tarkowski and Gahey, but play Garner or O'Reilly. Yeah, it's not a boring question. Probably play Garner, you know. Start Garner or Tarkowski. If you think Tarkowski is going to get DEFCON, then it comes down to, are Everton more likely to keep a clean sheet, or is Garner more likely to get an attack in return? I won't say the answer because it should be up to you, but that's what I'd think about. Gravenberch or Bruno G? It's a total 50-50, but my gut says Gravenberch. It's a complete 50-50 though. Considering benching Goo with Krupi Jr. Yeah. He also allows you to have 3 Chelsea as well. If Chelsea double in 36, I'm in trouble, is all I'm going to say. Because I got Mark Goo as my 3rd Chelsea. But we could get Barry. In. Start Krupi Jr. instead of one of Gahey, Timber, Szoboszlai. Yeah, I consider starting him ahead of Gahey or Szoboszlai, to be honest. I genuinely think João Pedro is a total 50-50 as to whether he starts. Complete 50-50. Complete 50-50. No, IRE. Wouldn't go for him. Sorry, mate. Wouldn't do it. So I'm just checking Twitter a second, see if there's any news. Best defender under 5 million. Mukiele, I think. What is the best game week to bench boost? Be one of the doubles, mate. Or what? Using your bench boost is individual to your team, really. I can't answer that, to be honest. Could be one of the doubles, or it's just the week when your bench is the strongest, really. Yeah, Semenyo's okay. Long term, I do think at some point rotation could be a thing, but he's clearly favoured at the moment by Pep. Tavernier would probably be another 5 or 6 weeks, my gut feel. Or 4 or 5 weeks. It just depends. I mean, it depends if your team is good enough with him on the bench. Got Chalobah and Gabriel and James Hill. Should I keep Hill? I think it's fine, mate. Who's the most trapped? Bruno, mate. It's a decent wildcard team. I wouldn't have Munoz in it. I wouldn't have Darlow either. I'd just have Dubravka. Don't be different. Just go Dubravka. Riwito RKO. It's a good team, that. I can't knock it. Rodgers is the one you replace with Wilson, but I'm not a massive fan of Rodgers. I would rather have Elliot Anderson over both Rodgers and Wilson, you know. Transfer out Bruno G and Saka to bring in Palmer and Bruno Fernandes. By the signs of it, you can afford to do Bruno G to Bruno F, and I would just do that. Thoughts on Ahmad? Yeah, but just starting doesn't mean he's going to score points, does it? Or get returns. Who do I bench? Cash or Mukiele? Cash. Worth replacing Gu with someone who actually gets minutes. Yeah, it depends. I can't say it. If you need to start him, then yes. Best Chelsea triple: Sanchez, Chalobah, Enzo. What do you mean about Krupi? I don't know. I don't know what I said. Yeah, I do think João Pedro's too risky. I think Saka's got... I hope he scores a brace, mate. We're all good. Alex, yes, no apologies for joining late. Hall or Anderson for the first bench? Anderson. Jared Bowen instead of João Pedro? I'd have Thiago over both. Just pick Thiago. I'll pick Thiago and not think about it. Vert's overlooked. Maybe. A little bit. I just don't think he's that good, though. I'd rather have Mbuemo, Enzo, Rice, Anderson. I'd rather have all of them. Oh, guys, I really need to nip to the loo again in a sec. I've had a lot of water this morning. We're going to have to do it, guys. I'll be 30 seconds. Stick around. We're back. We're back. This guy has zero ball knowledge. It was a joke. Fair enough, mate. If you disagree with me, then feel free to disagree. I don't think it's fair to say that I have zero ball knowledge for suggesting that Thiago, who has scored 16 goals this season away at Aston Villa, who are not a very good defence in my opinion, could score a goal. I don't think that's an outrageous suggestion. You think Watkins will start? Nah, I'm not sure, mate. Not sure at all. I think switching into Ronaldo makes sense because I do think Watkins could somehow appear off the bench. By the way, if you haven't already, please leave a like rating on the stream and subscribe to the Goal and Goal channel. I reckon we should be able to do 300 likes on this stream. We've got 375 people watching at the moment, which I'm very, very grateful for. Let's see if we can hit 300. 300 likes. I'd be very grateful. Esteve Hall O'Reilly. Gut feel is O'Reilly. Mbuemo and Evan Nilsson or Bruno and Krupi? Bruno and Thiago. Best week to jump back on Thiago? That's a really good question. Let's have a look at the fixtures. I think it's probably 27, isn't it? Let him have these 3 rubbish ones and then get on him from 27. And then Forest away for Liverpool. Oh, they get good, don't they? Then they got West Ham and Wolves. Maybe the answer is to not, but I just can't. I can't bring myself to sell TK, mate. I'm hoping our hand is forced in terms of what we do, to be honest with you. I agree on Thiago. What's up, Jimmy Plix? Hope you're keeping well. Start O'Reilly or Bruno G. Oh my grief, that's tough. My gut says Bruno G, mate. Sorry, Damien, your message is half complete. Bowen, he's alright, yeah. Dunno. Yeah, exactly, Josh O'Neill. I mean, it's pretty harsh to say. Well, not that I care, but I'm allowed to respond. If Senesi outscores Thiago, I will be filthy. Fair enough. He could outscore Thiago. I mean, I'm not going to rule it out. No one can predict point for point how many points these players are going to score. But I do think I have a valid point that Thiago could quite conceivably score against Villa this week. And Bournemouth are crap defensively this season. They've conceded so many goals. I think the optimal Chelsea triple up is Sanchez, Chalobah, Enzo. Bench one between O'Reilly, Alderete. I think I'd bench O'Reilly. Decent wildcard that, Alan. I tell you what, Palmer captain this week. If you believe he's going to start, which I think he does, Palmer captain this week makes sense. Would I buy Palmer? No, because you can't trust him long term. If I had him, would I captain him this week? Yeah, I think you could. Mate, I've had enough of Bristol City today. I refuse to think about it anymore. We're so cooked, mate. We are so cooked as Bristol City. I think Palmer would do you alright this week, Alex. I really do. Mate, I don't even think I'd have Evan Nilsson, let alone captain him. Does Calafiori start for Arsenal? I think it's 50. It looks 50-50 between him and Hincapi. Start Munoz versus that is really close. That's get a coin out, Raphael, and flip the coin. Big up Derby, mate. We got absolutely battered last night. It was embarrassing. Fair play to Derby as well. They weren't like world beaters yesterday because we were crap, but some of their goals were very, very clinical. What do you think about bringing in Munoz for Chow? I just prefer Chalobah. Do I replace Gakpo or keep him? It depends who you want. I think Mbuemo, Enzo, Bruno Fernandes, Rice, they're all better than Gakpo in my opinion. Up the gas. We're still better than Bristol Rovers, mate. The good thing is we still can't be bantered by Bristol Rovers. That's a good place to be. We're still unbanterable by them. If Palmer... I don't know, Palmer captain this week's not mad at all. Ortega, 4.7 million, and he will be a starter in Nottingham. Not true. Sal's is going to continue to play for Forest. It'd be mad to say otherwise, I think. And even if Ortega does, it's just crazy. Mike, good to see you, mate. Gahey or Maguire? Ooh, depends on the context of the question, mate. Are you saying to start this week or to have long term? I believe defence wins championships. So I went Gabriel, Timber, Chalobah, Munoz, and Senesi. Fair enough. Who would you sell Dorgu for? I still think it's the Sunderland defender. I'll be honest. Maybe Hill from Bournemouth. With those fixtures. To start this week, I'd start Maguire, mate. Definitely start Maguire. Goal threat, I think they're more likely to keep a clean sheet. Yeah, I'd start Maguire. Utility, good to see you, mate. 2 free transfers. Need Bruno Fernandes in. Ekitike to Evan Nilsson or Thiago. I think I'd do... it's really tough, that. I'd definitely do the Bruno F move. If I was to sell Ekitike, I would buy Thiago. What do you guys think? In order to get Bruno Fernandes, should Utility Massage do Ekitike to Evan Nilsson or to Thiago or Saka to Rice? I don't know, Arlian. We might make that a quiz question. I think a lot of wildcards are being activated this week. My wildcard video did quite well. Statue of Dewsbury Hall, Senesi, Munoz, Thiago. Oh my god. Thiago and then one of Senesi or Munoz. Bro, I've answered enough of your questions now. I think I've given my view, surely. You've asked me about 7 questions to do with who you start. Reliable source tells me Van der Ven is out. Honestly, I can't say I'm sure on my captain yet. I can't say I'm sure that I'm captaining Bruno. Would you play Thiago or Konsa? Thiago. The thought of playing Konsa over Thiago seems crazy. Yes, he might keep a clean sheet and I look like a mug, but there's just no way I would start Konsa over Thiago. No way. Saka to Rice. Yeah, but Saka takes corners as well, mate. 1,200 votes on the poll. Wow. It's not changed, has it? 60% saying Bruno Fernandes. I've gone from Thiago to Evan Nilsson. God, no, I don't like that. Sorry. I think Thiago and Haaland are the two best forwards in the game. Should I play Gahey or Mane? I'd probably play Mane, you know. Dubravka or Pickford versus Brighton? I'd pick Pickford, I think. Why would you sell Timber? I wouldn't be selling Timber this week. Mukiele or Gahey? Mukiele. Cunha or Garner? Gut feel is Cunha, really. It's tough. Benching Cunha is tough. You've had him in your team all this time. You haven't sold him. And he's about to play Fulham and start. I think he definitely starts for Fulham, doesn't he? Mitoma or Calvert-Lewin? Calvert-Lewin. Hey bro, should I start Timber and Wilson or Timber and Tarkowski? I think Timber and Tarkowski. Do you think Mo Salah will play? Yeah. I don't hate the captaincy, you know. Bench Thiago and start Krupi Jr. No, I think I'd play Thiago. I hope the points flow, mate. I need some points. Tell you what I really need. I really need Njai to go off against Brighton. I will be watching that game intently. Intently. João Pedro or swap for Thiago? I wouldn't have João Pedro, mate. I think his minutes are too uncertain. Yeah, I've still got all my chips. Who would you start? Senesi, Esteve or Mane? Probably Senesi. Probably Senesi of that lot. Yeah, Senesi of that lot, definitely. Please do leave a like rating on the stream if you could. I'd really appreciate that. It really helps me, helps the channel grow. It's completely free. Yeah, leave a like. I'd appreciate that a lot. What are your thoughts on Hill over Senesi? I just think Senesi's, you get what you pay for with both players, basically. So it depends how much budget you have and how much budget you need to build your ideal team. Devaney and Enzo and Thiago to Krupi. Nah, don't take the hit. Don't take the hit, it's not worth it. I would start Mukiele of those three, I think. Foden out for Mbuemo. I don't hate it. The thing is, who scores the most points out of the two of them this week? I'm on and off with challenge, I must say. Bruno Fernandes or João Pedro? I mean, I don't even know if João Pedro is going to start, mate. So you've got to say Bruno. Bruno, João Pedro, Mo Salah, Lafay, Haaland. Can you rank them? Yeah, the only two captains would be Bruno and Haaland, and well, actually, Salah as well. I'd probably put Bruno and Salah ahead of Haaland this week at the moment, but I'm still not decided if I'm going to captain Bruno Fernandes yet. Shall I take a -4 to get rid of Foden? I already took a -4. No. Mbuemo and Evan Nilsson / Thiago, or Bruno and Krupi? Bruno and Evan Nilsson. Ooh. Yeah, you got to have Bruno in your team, mate, quite simply. Enzo captain, a good shout. Too crazy. I don't think he won't be on penalties today. I think it's Bruno Fernandes, Haaland, Palmer, or Saka. Or Salah, sorry. Those are the four. Brobby or Thiago? Brobby. I bench Brobby. Who's on penalties for Sunderland, by the way? It's Lefay, isn't it? Yeah, I'd start Thiago. 16 Premier League goals. Can't ignore that. No, is Semenyo better than Mbuemo? I think they're about the same, to be honest with you. You just think minutes. Like, Semenyo is probably going to play 90 every game. Mbuemo, though, is playing as the 9. Yeah, I agree, Nixie. I'm tempted, you know, with no Van der Ven. With no Van der Ven. We're going to switch back. When are you wildcarding? Game week 32. Come back here and you change captain. I changed it again, mate. Now I'm allowed to change my mind, aren't I? I'm really unsure as to who to captain. It's pretty simple, really. Would you captain Palmer over Bruno? Thing is with Palmer, he doesn't get DEFCON, and he's not been amazing. That's the drawback, really, isn't it? By the way, if you haven't already, please do subscribe to the Golden Goal channel and leave a like rating on the stream. Let's see if we can hit 300 likes. We're on 272 at the moment, and we've got 400 people watching. So I reckon we can hit. I reckon we can hit 300 likes. When do you plan to wildcard? Just said. Literally just said. I would have Sanchez, Chalobah, and Hill. I think Sanchez, Chalobah, and Enzo are the best 3 Chelsea players. Yeah, I think I think Man United are in danger of underestimating Fulham. It's another reason why I think Haaland could be the best captain. Haleb, is that the Arsenal player? Is Cunha a good hold for the nice fixtures? It's not bad. Yeah. The predicted points do have Bruno edging it, don't they? Should I bench boost with Dubravka, Alderete, Senesi and Krupi? I tell you what, it's not bad at all, that bench. Interesting that you're benching Senesi against Wolves, though. But fair enough. Change of captains? Yeah, mate. Changed it back. Probably change it again before the deadline. Is Saka too risky? If you're captaining Saka, mate, I wouldn't captain Saka. Any world where Gabriel is a captain? Yeah. Supposed car racing expert. I think long term, particularly with the double in 26 coming up, Rice is better. Bruno G or Zubamendi. Bro, wouldn't have Zubamendi in my team. That is a right waste of an Arsenal slot. I'd probably start Bruno G. Submit your teams. There's a pinned message in the chat for the FPL Cartel. Sign up to the FPL Cartel. 1 week free trial. And then you put your team in the GGFF stream chat and I'll look at it. That's how it works. Have you already answered this? Yeah, we've already answered that. Has Tom got many in? He's got a few, look. Back again for an hour. We're going to be on, mate. We'll be here till 11:30. I think got another hour to go. Yeah, I agree, Nixie. I think Gabriel's the best Arsenal asset. Ekitike 78 predicted minutes, Saka 75. I think predicted minutes is something that an algorithm hasn't got the intelligence to quite get right yet. Because there's so much human thought that goes into it, and game state and all sorts. I think expected minutes is a human. It should be based on your opinion. I brought in Chalobah for Chow, mate. Who should I buy? I have no idea. Depends on your team. Bruno F or Rice for captain. If you've got to choose between the two, it's Bruno Fernandes. If we sell Haaland, we can cover 3 players. Yeah, but who would you buy? I'm just not having it. Selling Haaland makes 0 sense. Back 3, Gabriel Maguire Gahey or Gabriel Timber Maguire. Yeah. I'd still prefer Timber. Who'd bench, Wilson or Krupi? Yeah, good question. Don't know. I think with the fixture you probably have to bench Wilson, but Wilson's been so good. I've got 1 left, mate, in terms of free transfers. Alien. Should I sell Van de Ven? Yeah, probably. Get Mukiele, Alderete. I have Dubravka and Petrovic as my goalies. Getting tired of weekly headache of choosing between 2 mediocre options. Who do you start this week, or do I upgrade my goalie? Well, I think you got to start Petrovic, but I would consider buying Sanchez. But this isn't the week to do it because they both got decent fixtures. Who will win the Prem? I think Arsenal will win it, mate. They got to pull their finger out from an attacking point of view, though. Exactly what Nixie said. I think there's too much human input to how many minutes a player plays that an algorithm isn't quite there. There's no algorithm that can do it, in my opinion. That's not a knock against the tools. I just think it's extremely hard. Sorry, the chat's going mental. If you're new around here, please do leave a like rating and subscribe to the Golden Goal channel. Start Anderson or Esteve? Anderson, definitely. City will win Prem. Arteta a bottle job. Let's see. It's not like City have been playing well recently. Are you sticking with? I've no idea, mate. I've no idea. Best Bournemouth assets? Senesi, Hill, Krupi, Evan Nilsson. I wouldn't go mad about Bournemouth, though. Cash, your message is so short and spread across the chat that I can't possibly reply to them. If you're going to ask me a question, put it all in one message, please. I can't make sense of what you're saying. Just Szoboszlai. Don't rate it, mate. He's not on penalties anymore. Where are you scoring points as a Szoboszlai owner? He's probably playing right back as well. It's all right, mate. Just trying to help. Thoughts on Salah? Yeah, he's decent. The only question is, like, if you're not going to captain him, he's not worth the money. Anderson, Bruno Fernandes, Rice, Foden, Bruno G in midfield. Yeah, Enzo and Mbuemo could come in for Bruno Gomes. I think I would do Bruno G to Enzo, I reckon, this week. Hill or Maguire for Dorgu. Ooh, that is a tough one, you know. Yeah, I'd probably say Maguire. I support Bristol City, mate. They're my local team. But growing up, I was also a Man United fan. And it's hard to, like, separate myself from an affinity with Man United. So I'm a bit of a two-team man. But Bristol City are by far and away my main team. I live locally and I've got a YouTube channel about them. But I'm open that just where I grew up following Man United, liking Ronaldo, Vidic, Rooney, all those players. I love them growing up. But in recent years, my attention is fully gone to Bristol City. No doubt about it. Ekitike to Evan Nilsson, good transfer. Not sure. Don't think I'd sell Ekitike. I'd start enjoying Mukiele, I think, Lewis. Szoboszlai still have free kicks and corners. Not enough for me. Would you take a -4 to bring in Enzo and for Harry Wilson? Nah, just keep Harry Wilson. Cheers, Cass. I appreciate that. Try my best, mate. We're 1,000 videos in now. I feel if you think I'm good, it's just through sheer hard work and determination, mate. So, but I appreciate that. That's very kind of you. Very kind of you. Yes, I do think Ekitike starts. Honestly, Jabba the Hutt, fair play. I mean, Derby were good yesterday. Your third goal, I thought in particular, the way you moved the ball about quickly and counter-attacked was very impressive. You've got some good players in your team. And I'm hoping, it sounds mad, but last night I think was a real eye-opener for Bristol City fans. Yeah, we've had a poor window. Not replaced 2 of our best players leaving. Our owner said that he was happy with the way the club is being run and that he's not willing to spend the money that we've recouped from selling our 2 best players. And then we lost 5-0 all in the same day. I think it's such a dark day for a City that it can surely only be turned into a positive going forwards, that, you know, the fans know where the problem lies at the club, or the club do something about the problems. That's it, really. But yeah, fair play. Derby good. You know, the money you spent, the players you brought in, Brighton, Diaz, Brewster, all that lot, you done well. You're probably a better team than we are now, just in general. I mean, we'll make it through, but we're just going to be championship mid-table for seasons to come, mate. Salverts to Enzo or Rodgers this week for 1 free transfer. You know what? I'd probably keep hold of Verts. Garner to Enzo or Garner to Njai. I've got Njai, but don't listen to me. Yeah, leave a like if you can. We got 5 more to go until we hit 300. It'd be amazing if we could do 300 likes. We've got 400 people watching at the moment. There's 5 people that can leave a like rating, I reckon. If there was only one must-have essential player in FPL, it's all 3, mate. It's all 3 of them. It's just all 3. It has to be all 3 of them. Play Anderson of Forest or Alderete. I'd probably play Anderson. I think he's more nailed to get DEFCON. Yeah, Ben. We just haven't put in the money this window. Need to play 2 Van Dijk. I'd play Mukiele definitely, and probably Hill. Tarkovsky or Munoz for a long-term hold. It's very hard to say without knowing how the double in 26 looks. If good to see you, by the way, Paul, mate. I hope you're keeping well. Play Anderson or Lafay. Anderson, 100% Anderson. Do I roll and start Watkins? Have Barry as first bench? Not too bad. I would not start Watkins this week. I think there's a very good chance he's benched. The thing is, moving on Barry when he could have a double in 26 is risky. I would probably do Watkins to Thiago this week if it was me. Call me crazy, but I would probably do Watkins to Thiago. Do I roll and start Watkins? Have Barry as first bet? Yeah, I've already answered that. Oh, congratulations, Paul. New kitten in a 5-year anniversary. What a great day. Congratulations. Haaland, Thiago and Krupi. No, don't sell Thiago. Why would someone even own Watkins? He's fine. He's just not great. If you don't have Bruno Fernandes, you've got to buy him, mate. Is Bowen a good option now? Yeah, I still think Thiago's better. Being a differential doesn't make him a good option. Do you have a Y-fan or a kitten? No, I've got neither, mate. I'm in the market for a wife, though, if anyone's interested. I'm only joking. I'm pretty focused on building this channel, to be honest. I'm putting a lot of time and effort into this. Yeah, I literally do have FPL. It's a shame I'm 296k overall to show for it, isn't it? Bro, Jinx, I've no idea who I'm captaining. I can't pretend that I'm sure of it. I'm not even going to answer that question, I'm afraid. If you rank in the top 100, I will marry you. I think we need to have a date first, mate. What are the odds Ekitike finally scores in the league? I bloody hope so. I feel like I deserve an Ekitike goal. Surely I deserve it. Surely Haaland will score a couple against. Surely, right? Surely. That was my thinking. Well, he's got the armband currently. We deserve an Ekitike. Oh, mate, if Ekitike and Saka score this week, I think I'm going to go through the ceiling. Cheers, Paul. I appreciate that, my mate. It's a decent team, Jay. I don't know what you're asking for me, though. I feel like there's been a few... Surely Haaland will score. Yeah, exactly. I'm pretty... Oh, my God. Ekitike to João Pedro is not worth the hit. I think, genuinely, João Pedro has a 50-50 chance of starting this week. You look at how the Chelsea fixtures are like. They got Arsenal midweek. They're waiting on the bench for a chance. I think this is the time where João Pedro could get a benching. I wouldn't even do it. Yeah, I agree. I wouldn't even do it for free. Bro, if Haaland scores an own goal as my captain, I'm gonna go through the ceiling in a different way. Bruno G to Mbuemo. Yeah, I like it. I like it. Bench 2, Dewsbury Hall, Munoz, Cash. I think I'd start Munoz of that lot, Karen. Bench 1, Wilson, Ekitike, Thiago. Wilson, I think. I think I'll bench Wilson. All right, Karen, I've answered your question. No, Palmer is definitely not essential. You don't even know if he's going to play, mate. He's so unreliable. Start Munoz, Timber, or Senesi. Bloody hell. That's so tough. What do people think? Munoz, Timber, or Senesi? Have a go. Help him out. I don't know. Would you do Virgil to Chalobah? I'd consider it, mate. I'd consider it. It's not a desperate transfer, though, but I'd consider it. I think the thing is you should probably wait, really, because you need to see who doubles in Gameweek 26. I would probably wait. Bench one out of DCL, Wilson, or Thiago. I think I'd bench Wilson, the non-penalty taker, to be honest with you. I'd definitely play Thiago. It's one of DCL or Wilson for me. You know, if Thiago doesn't do well this week, I'll take it on the chin, but I think the logic of everyone wanting to sell him, it just doesn't make sense. I still think he's the second best forward in the game. Absolutely, Nixie. It's mental. Mental to sell Thiago, in my opinion. The thing is, though, when do I do Ekitike to Thiago? I just have no idea. Someone asked me that question. Honestly, I've no idea. Maybe my hand will be forced. I think I would start Gabriel and Chalobah alongside Mukiele, and I think you can bench Saliba. Gabriel is the best defender in the game. There's no way you can do that. Have I seen the Hub best wildcard team? Let's have a look. It's pretty good. It's a pretty good team. I'd be inclined to agree with it. Just not sure about Ekitike, but it's not a bad team. Ooh, I've just lost my screen, haven't I? Whoops. Let's get it back. Let's see if we've got any leaks. I'm going to have a quick look on Twitter, see if we've got any leaks. No, I've not seen anything. Not seen anything. Yeah, you've got to have triple Arsenal, mate. Definitely. Who was in that wasn't? Yeah, I mean, you pick an Arsenal defender in there over Senesi, I think, or Rodon even. Yeah, I agree. Triple Arsenal, definitely. What if we just go for Evan Nilsson / Bowen instead of Ekitike? Yeah. I've already done a wildcard team though. I'm obviously affiliated with Fantasy Football Hub. There's a link to sign up in my description. But I'm allowed to disagree, and I slightly do. The majority of those players I would have in a wildcard team, don't get me wrong. Those 4 midfielders, definitely. I definitely have Haaland and Thiago. I definitely have Gabriel. I definitely have Alderete. I definitely have Sanchez. It's just a question of the rest of them, really. Maybe 1 or 2 different. Trying to sell Gordon for weeks. Going to do it this week. Who should I get for him? Bruno Fernandes, undoubtedly. Bruno Fernandes is the best midfielder in the game. No question about it. Get him. Get him. 100% get him. What was I going to say? Yeah, if you haven't already and you're watching and you're new, please do subscribe to the Goal and Goal channel. Got nearly 500 people watching now, which is incredible. Thank you everyone for tuning in. And please do subscribe to the Goal and Goal channel as well. And like the stream. Let's see if we can do 400 likes. That'd be cool. But yeah, I hope you're enjoying it and finding it useful. I'm trying to keep up with the chat. Stay energized. Been live for nearly 3 hours now. Start in Jai or Kroopy? I think I'd start in Jai. Definitely have tried FPL review, mate. Why have you switched the armband? I love a chop and change. I saw that Van der Ven might not be playing for Spurs. I think if Van der Ven plays for Spurs, it's a completely different prospect for Haaland. It's been a viewing pleasure. I'm pleased, mate. It's been a pleasure. Been a pleasure to be from my side as well. A pleasure making it. There you go. What about double Sunderland defence? Yeah, it's viable. The thing is with Sunderland, you probably want to bench him next week. Is the only thing. But I think Mukiele is probably the best defender at that price point, and Alderete is probably the best defender at his price point as well. Again, I just wouldn't. I wouldn't. You know, if I was to recommend a wildcard team, I've made a video. That's the team I would pick. I think Semenyo will take a goal away for. I'm still really close between Bruno and Haaland. I haven't decided fully yet. Timber, Virgil, or Munoz? Asking for the other half. I think Semenyo will take a goal away from Haaland. Yeah, fair enough. I've already answered that, haven't I? So I'm seeing so many messages. I think Timber, Jigmich. I think Timber. Or do I? Munoz could be. God, they're all good. I'll tell you what, Jigmich. Go on Google. I'll do it. I'll do it for you. I deserve a like rating for this, by the way. See, I've done this before. Timber, Verge, Noodles. Alright. There you go. There's your decision. I wouldn't captain Mbuemo. What utter tosh. Unsubscribed. Alright, mate. Such a loss. That was a bit cocky. You know what I mean? I don't care. You can unsubscribe if you want. What are your thoughts on captaining Mbuemo? No, I always like to captain a penalty taker. I think Bruno Fernandes and Haaland are the ones. Maybe Gabriel, maybe Palmer, maybe Salah. Definitely not Mbuemo. He doesn't even play the full 90. Do a Haaland and Bruno spin. Yeah. Got to be done on it. God. I'm nervous. What if it says Bruno and then I get wobbled? There you go. It's my decision made, ladies and gentlemen. I'd probably bench Bowen. No, I'm not doing best of three. It's one and done. It told me the answer I want to see, so I'm going to leave it there. Sorry, guys, won't be a sec. We're back. Just checking what I should read. It's confirmation bias. We love a bit of confirmation bias. Hi, I did Saka and Cherky to Fernandez and Rice for a -4. I don't like it. Sorry. I just wouldn't take a hit for that. Good luck, Arlian. Hope the assignment goes well. And obviously FPL as well. We'll be live for 35 more minutes. Best third forward next to Thiago and Haaland. Don't know. No idea. I wouldn't have a third forward. It's one of the dirt cheap ones. It'd be Kroopy, mate. Haaland and Thiago and then a dirt cheap one. Would you bench Wirtz or Bowen? Good grief. Depends on how many Chelsea players you've got, really. I feel like if you've got loads of Chelsea players, you should probably bench Bowen. But if you don't, I pick Bowen. Oh, mate, I don't know. I wouldn't be looking to get rid of Haaland for another few weeks at least. How many points? One of your bench players returning, I think, is good enough. Just someone returning, an attacking return or a clean sheet is good enough. Thinking of doing O'Reilly to Chalobah, Tarkowski or Mukiele. Not sure. Yeah, I'd buy Chalobah. Start one, Gravenberch, Gahey, Lacroix. Probably Lacroix. Bench Wilson or Rodgers. I think you got to bench Wilson. Probably got to bench Wilson on the balance of it. Do you think Palace keeps a clean sheet? Possible. Here's the odds if you were interested. Here's some odds for you. Palace are 22% likely. I'd probably say more like 30, to be honest. Who would you start out of Munoz, Hill? It's one of... Oh, bloody hell. There you go, mate. Sharda versus Villa. Wilson v United. Mane v Bournemouth. I've also got a captaincy poll with over 1,700 votes on it. 60% are saying Bruno. I'm not sure. I would start Anderson and Wilson over Lafay. Start 2, Timber, Rice and Jai Tarkovsky. Bloody hell. And Jai and Rice. Yeah. Painful, but I think I'd start both in Jai and Rice. I think I would. I think you've got to. You don't think Pedro is playing? I think João Pedro, honestly, is a complete 50-50. Complete 50-50. Yeah, I agree, Nick. I just don't know. I don't know what to think on captaincy. I don't know what to think. I just don't know what to think. I don't know what to do. I'll be honest, I am as unsure as probably everyone else. That's the honest opinion in view. I'm as unsure as pretty much everyone else. I really don't know who to captain this week. Sorry, but that's kind of where we're at, to be honest. I wish I could tell you, but I just don't know. Palmer, yeah, definitely if you have him. Who else can dictate captain polls other than Bruno and Haaland? I think it's those two, isn't it, really? Yeah, Tony, I have no idea, mate. I have no idea, pal. I worry, and you might think I'm mad here, I worry that Man United are going to underestimate Fulham. It sounds mental, but I just think Fulham, I don't know. I really don't know. I'll be honest. I can't choose. At least I'm honest, right? I think if there's any FPL manager or expert, content creator, whatever out there who says they are anything more than 80% sure that Bruno Fernandes is the best captain this week, I don't think it's trustworthy, I'll be honest. Not throwing shade at other content creators. I'm sure they can captain Bruno. But for anyone to say there's a certainty as to who is the best captain, I think is lying. I don't think there's any certainty. Phil Owen, I would go for Chalobah. A -4 for Robbie. I wouldn't be doing that. Would you take a -4 for Evan Nilsson / Krupi? No. You already got Chalobah. Bloody hell. An Arsenal defender, Timber. Gabriel, if you don't have him. That's what I'm thinking, Nick Span. That's why I went for him. And it means he'll play on the left as well, which I think is his best position. And Jai, I think, on the left that's where he plays best. Bench Verts or Chow? I'd bench Chow, mate. I would. I sold Chow this week, so it kind of says it all. Yeah, but that's assuming Spurs don't have Van de Ven. I don't think anyone knows. Oh, 5.9 million. I don't think you need to spend the full money. I'll go for someone like Mukiele, Alderete, Hill, Senesi. Is Bruno G? Yeah, well, no, he wasn't actually. He was like 50-50 as to whether he would actually start. I'm on a bench boost of Roofs, Alderete, Cash, and Krupi. Interesting, mate. That's for sure. Start Semenyo or Rice. You got to start both of them, mate. There's no way that's your decision. Njai or Thiago? Thiago. I think I'd start Thiago. Yeah, agree, mine. But then I think it would be harsh to say that Fulham are a low block team. I don't think they are. I think they actually try and play. Blimey, I'm starting to run out of energy. I've been live for 3 hours. It's been intense. Sorry, I'm trying to stick with it. We got half an hour to go. Well, 20 minutes or so to go. We'll keep rocking. Is it possible Senesi could still be sold? I don't know, mate. I think the poll's pretty obvious, mate, in terms of who would you captain. I think people are saying Bruno's going to score more points based on that. Cheers, Nixie. Wonder what would happen if you get early team news that Timber is benched. I don't know. Is it possible? Yeah, maybe. I just go for Hill then, but then Hill's at risk as well. Choose 2 for a wildcard draft: João Pedro, Evan Nilsson, or Ekitike. The 2 best forwards are Haaland and Thiago for a wildcard team, and you should have 5 in midfield. That's the answer. I'm sorry. You're asking my opinion. That's what I say. Yeah, I'd start Dubravka over Verbruggen, I think. 20 minutes to go of my stream, mate. I'm going to finish at 11:30. Hand over to the big guns. They'll all go at 11:30 and you'll be carried all the way through to the deadline, mate. Start Elliot Anderson instead of Thiago. No, I'd start Thiago. What about Saka? I'm going to keep Saka. I think he plays this week. It's very hard to sell Saka, I think. Will Keane from Everton start? I think he should. He probably should start. Bruno G to Enzo or Rogers. Enzo. Nixie, I'm not. But you look at those 4 fixtures and a potential double in 26. I think you're swayed, aren't you? Be just my luck that Chalobah gets benched this week, but I don't think so. Martin, me too, mate. As a Bristol City fan, me too. We need to sign some players though. Would you start Cash or Mukiele? Mukiele. Yeah, Viner to Wrexham confirmed. Saw that already, mate. It's done. We knew it yesterday. Start Bruno. I'm already over it. It's just need to spend the money. We've already got a replacement lined up. We had a Fabrizio Romano tweeted. We're going for Noah Eel. Don't know anything about him. I'd start Thiago over Bruno G, definitely. Who can I sell Foden to? Bruno Fernandes. I think, to be honest, selling Foden to one of Enzo or Mbuemo this week feels like a little bit of a luxury move. But if you can buy Bruno Fernandes, I think I would do that. Sorry, while I'm in the background, I'm just checking for leaks and anything that's going on at the moment. So I'm a little bit quiet. That's what I'm doing. You selling Chow? I've already done it, mate. I've already done it. He's not my teammate. Chalobah's in. Will you do Calvert-Lewin to Pedro for free? No. Wouldn't buy João Pedro. Sorry. Captain consensus, check the poll, mate. 1,800 votes. 59% are captain in Bruno. I don't know. If we do get any rumours for Arsenal teams, it will come closer to the deadline. Oh, your ticker says thinking. Fair enough, mate. We changed it now. Sorry, I'm running out of energy. 15 minutes to go. I'm trying, guys. I'm trying. I'm knackered. It's hard work. Sorry, I'm trying my best. Will you use Rodgers? Absolutely not. He is not a captain player. I wouldn't keep Gakpo. I think Enzo, Mbuemo and Bruno Fernandes are all better. Who to bench, Calvert-Lewin or Wilson? Gut feel says Calvert-Lewin. Play Bruno G or Thiago? Undoubtedly Thiago. I definitely don't need more vitamins, mate. I've been live streaming for 3 hours and a quarter, and I've been up since 6 a.m. and you'll see on my channel that I started a live stream at 6:30 and I got the time wrong. That's why I'm tired. I was also at the football last night and I didn't get home till 10:30, and I was so angry after the loss I didn't fall asleep until about midnight. So I think there's a good explanation for why I'm a bit tired. Wilson return or Dallo clean sheet? I think you got to back Wilson. Would you start Cash or I'd start the Sunderland defender? Almost 100% certainly. Do you think Bruno's EO would be over 100%? No. His ownership's only 27%, so it's not possible. I know Ben personally, mate. Ben is an incredible FPL player. He had a fantastic season last year as well. He was inside the top 1,000 last year. He's been unbelievable. Nixie, I sat down, had a coffee, a snack, had a shower, and watched, sat on Twitter for an hour talking about Bristol City, basically. Because it was all bloody painful. That's what it was. Bench Mookie or I'd start both of them, mate. Surely you've got to be starting both. Maybe. I've got to go to the gym after this as well. Is it a good time for a wild card? I don't know. It all depends on your team. If you want a wild card, I've made a video. Oh, sorry. My ear went really itchy then. Chewy, let's have a look. Interesting. He's predicted no. He's predicted no Palmer. Wow. Certainly interesting. Semenyo is a good captain pick, yeah, but I just have the captain that's on penalties, mate. I think it's Bruno, Haaland, or no. That's it. It's Bruno or Haaland this week, mate. I've already. If you're on a wild card, my answer is watch my wild card video, because whatever I say, I'm just going to draw you towards that, mate. I am, mate. VTech's been unreal, yeah. Wasn't great last night, but everyone was crap, so I'm excusing it. He's been good, mate. He's going to go right to the very top. Is VTech. Incredible goalkeeper. I'm just hoping that we can get him for another season, but I don't know. I'd definitely say he's the second best goalkeeper that Man United have on their books. Oh, my ticker's broken. Sorry about that. There you go. Fixed now. No more Palmer captain. I still go for it, mate. It's all about your belief as to whether he plays. I think Palmer plays this week. I'd be very surprised if he didn't. Here's the Solio best 11 for predicted points. Oh, it's got Bruno in it. It's got Bruno in it. All right. We've changed it again. I can't deal with this captaincy nonsense. It's doing my head in. Doing my head in, it is. Start Thiago. Definitely start Thiago over Bruno G. Start Bowen, Alderete or Richards. Alderete. Yeah, doing my head in for them both to score 2 points. Exactly. That's how it goes, mate. Start Bowen or Thiago. Thiago. I basically have the same team as you. I was thinking of selling Saka and Anderson. Nah, don't do it. Keep him, mate. No need. It's too luxury. Semenyo is captain over Bruno Fernandes. Nah. You don't have Haaland. That's a mistake. And I just don't see the justification to captain Semenyo. I just go for the penalty taker in Bruno Fernandes, mate. I don't see the justification in captaining Semenyo. Sorry. I don't see it. He'll probably absolutely rip it up now, but I just don't see it, mate. Polo Goose, one more team review and we'll wrap up the stream, I think. Thank you, Polo Goose. I'd start Anderson over Wilson, mate, if it were me. Rest of the team's fine. Or maybe pick De Kuiper as well, you know, if you think he's going to play. But yeah, just start Anderson over Wilson, mate. Right, I think that's it. I'm done. Been live for 3 hours and 22 minutes. I also went live this morning at 6:30 a.m. as well. So this is my second deadline stream of the day. I think we're going to end it there if that's all right, ladies and gents. I wish you the best of luck for the week. Thank you for tuning in. If you could leave a like rating on your way out, I'd really appreciate that. We had over 9,000 people tune into the stream this morning. That's absolutely incredible. So thank you very much. If you could leave a like rating, like I said, on your way out and subscribe, I'll be very grateful. I will hand you over. Is FPL Tom still live? He is. I'm going to hand you over to FPL
That's
Tom.
a pretty decent move, to be honest.
I'll leave a link in the description. I'll leave a link in the chat to Tom. Go and say hello to Tom. Tell him I sent you. That's me for the deadline. Good luck.